recorded live.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Müvment Boxing Podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in boxing news, unbiased, unfiltered, uncut, true, and raw in its rawest form. Today I'm joined by my normal panel, missing a couple people, Bo, who's on vacation right now from the Truth and Facts About Boxing, as well as Big Cool from Colossal Boxing Talk, so you want to give a shout-out to them before we get started. Let me go ahead and introduce the panelists on for tonight, though. We got Bernard representing the Truth and Facts About Boxing. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. Chilling, just eating this vanilla bean ice cream. Ready to get this show started.
All right, let me go ahead and introduce 2K Prodigy. What's going on, man? Glad to have you back.
What's good, man? Glad to be back, man. Glad to be back.
All right, we're not going to waste no time, man. We got a special guest on today, so we're going to get right into it with an interview. Let me go ahead and introduce the trainer for several world champions right now, trainer of Errol Spence Jr., Jermell, Charlo. Welcome, Derrick James, to the show, everyone. How you doing,
Hello,
Derrick?
everybody. What's up? How y'all guys doing, man?
Pretty good.
Glad
to have you back on, man. I'm going to go ahead and let our panelists start off with questions before I get into mine. TK, you got anything you'd like to ask Derrick to start off? We got a big week of boxing with one of his fighters. He actually has a lot of fights coming up, actually. Pretty busy winter coming up. So, we got a lot of stuff we could dive into. Let me go ahead and swing it over to 2K.
Well, first things first, of course, this particular weekend, you got Jermell Charlo versus Erislandy, man, is a big-time standout. First thing that comes to mind to a lot of boxing heads, enthusiasts, pundits, etc., a lot of them seem to think that the experience is going to be a factor. Lubin is a young kid. I think he's like 20 or 21. I'm not exactly sure, but he's still young. He hasn't really fought the type of guys on his resume that say that he's particularly ready for a Charlo on paper. But if you look at his skill set, he can definitely be a dangerous fighter. And then, of course, you got Jermell. I think this is, his second or third title defense, if I'm not mistaken? Second, okay. Of course you're not going to disclose everything to us, but what are you looking at in this matchup that you think would give Jermell Charlo the edge?
Well, I look at the way Lubin throws punches. I look at his the way he moves his body. I look at his defense. I look at his athleticism, his ability. I look at everything because I think that we have to stay focused. And what we do is I make my guys sport better guys or the best guys because you have to raise yourself to another level. And as being a champion, if you want to continue to be champ, you got to keep pushing yourself to the next level to get in the ring with fighters who are better or who are going to push you. And that's what we've done for this fight. We got him in the ring, working with Errol, who's going to push him, Robert Brand, who's going to push him, Adrian Taylor. So we got a lot of good work, man. And so guys are going to push him and going to throw particular punches that he has to be aware of. And I think that, Lubin can be a very, very dangerous fighter. Everybody's dangerous, so let's keep it real. But I think Lubin is a guy who truly believes in himself. So, I love that because I'm a guy who nobody believes in me. You know what I'm saying? And I really didn't give a dang about it. Or they thought whatever because you don't have a name like everybody else that you're not real. So I applaud Lubin for being a guy and loving himself like that, right? But at the same time, it's a fight, and so anything can happen, and we got to go out there and be perfect, man.
No doubt. Okay, I got the same question, but applying to Robert Brant. Of course, he's in the World Boxing Super Series. He moved up from 160 to 168. Now, I plan on going to the gym and talking to Robert Brant, because a lot of cats don't know who he is, and there's a lot of footage on that's missing of him on YouTube that, a lot of people, when they do their research, they'll go on YouTube and check a fighter out. Well, you can't really see too much of Robert Brant, so I plan on getting him out there on my channel and other platforms as well. So moving up to 168, he's taking on a guy in Jürgen Brähmer who's a former champion. Me personally, I think Jürgen Brähmer is not that good of a fighter. I never was high on Jürgen Brähmer. What do you see in Jürgen Brähmer besides the age? I think the dude is like 38, 39 years old or something like that. Let me just put the question this way. Do you think the youth in this situation of Robert Brandt is going to be a factor in this fight?
I think that, well, let me address the age issue first of all, because in boxing, the older you get, you come up, like we came up in a more technical skill set era, right? So, but now it's more about natural athleticism. So, and then you gotta take into consideration the fact that European fighters fight a certain way. They do a certain thing, and so you have to take that into consideration. So he's older, so I believe he's wiser, right? I believe he's a smarter guy as a fighter. But at the same time, I came up. He's a couple of years younger than me, so I came up in the same area about skill set and being more technical also. And I fought on the USA team in the amateur, so I know how the European fighters fight. So I would take that towards for the fight for Robert. I think that Robert's usefulness should help him because it's all about his conditioning. It's all about just like Kell Brook. Right? Kell Brook's a phenomenal fighter. I told everybody I said, listen, but he likes to fight at his own pace. Meaning that I didn't tell him when I was saying that to say, we're gonna push the pace he can't keep up with, right? So I think that with Brähmer, I think he's a phenomenal. I mean, listen, everybody don't like everybody, but to be a two-time world champion, hey, he made it this far, whatever. So it's like we're gonna have to fight the fight, and we have to fight to beat him. Be smart, be just as smart, be just as intelligent. But our timing has to be on point, and we have to be very precise and very accurate. So and very busy. So
yep.
That's the key.
And even at the same time, Jürgen Brähmer is the biggest name that's going to be on Robert Brandt's resume October 27th. So, we got to respect him in that aspect, right? Just because he is going to be the biggest name.
Yeah, that's right.
And my last thing to say before we pass it over to somebody else, the World Boxing Super Series just got hot, man, with, your boy, Eubank Jr., knocking out Yildirim. And then, of course, they're in two different brackets. So Robert Brandt, his next round, if he gets past Brähmer, will be against the Callum Smith, the UK standout. Now, me personally, I got Robert Brandt winning the tournament. But let's say if we're looking at Eubank Jr., who I think will possibly be in the final if George Groves somehow falters against Jamie Cox, right? How do you think that matchup will look between Brandt and Eubank Jr.? Sort of kind of getting your guy out there since a lot of people don't know who Robert Brandt is.
You know what's funny is, man, I saw like a round or so of the fight. I really never really seen him fight before. I mean, I look at fighters. For one, I don't watch a lot of boxing anymore. I used to, but since I got so deep in it, I focus on the guys and what I have in hand. So just like even with Kell Brook, I didn't look at any video of him till the contract was signed. I don't waste my time looking at a video of a guy not going to fight. So
no doubt.
my focus is on Jürgen Brähmer. It's like my focus is on Erislandy. So I haven't even really seen him fight. I don't really watch it. And if it's a big fight, like I'm gonna watch it, right? But if it's will we possibly fight him? I mean, I don't have to watch it because I can go back and look at the video. So up until this point, I want to be so focused on right now, Erislandy. Next week, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, even more, it's all Rob Brandt and Jürgen Brähmer. And after that, it's Errol, Spence, and whoever he's going to fight against. So I like to give everybody their own private time. I don't like to run that or intertwine that. I like to, everybody is special. Everybody needs their own individual time, and that's what I do my best to give them.
Okay.
All right, Detective B, you got anything you'd like to ask Derrick before I get into my series of questioning?
You know what? I think I don't want to. What's the word? I don't know if the questions I'm gonna ask might be some of yours, but
okay.
I'm gonna ask this one particular question.
But listen, but if you ask him before he does, they're your question. Not you. So
exactly.
You get to take credit for it. Yeah, you get to take credit for it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a potential. I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's a potential fight that's supposed to come up for Errol Spence that he's supposed to be fighting one of my favorite fighters. Actually, they both are my favorite fighters. Lamont Peterson in December. So far, what's your take on if that fight is going to happen? What's your take on that fight happening?
Well, for one, I don't know much about it. So I mean, everybody know more than I know. And I mean, like I said, my focus is on two guys right now. So I can't put all my focus on the probability. Like people talking about, well, is Kell Brook on it? I didn't know, man. So I mean, I don't. So when they say it's a go, then I'm thinking about Lamar Peterson. You know what I'm saying? But until then, I can't. I don't want to take away from the two fights I have in front of me. So, but I mean, I think if it were to be something that's possible, it'll be a good fight. I mean, they sparred a lot of rounds. They know each other very well. I mean, I know Barry better than I do Lamont, but I mean, I like them. I mean, I like those cats. I like the DC cat, and it's just business, man. It's just what it is right now. You move up from 140, 147. You don't have to face your homeboy because he up there too. So it's all good.
Word up.
Okay. My next question is, I'm gonna piggyback on a few weeks ago we had the Canelo Triple G fight. What's your thoughts on it? Who did you have winning, and what did you take from that fight?
Well, I thought it was a pretty interesting fight. I thought it was pretty. I think it was pretty competitive. I think this is like you asked me. So what I may say may not be what other people say. So I look at boxing different because from going from being a boxer to going to be a trainer, so I look at it from a more technical perspective opposed to like what other people may look at it. So I mean, I thought that Canelo won the first 4 to 5 rounds. That's what I thought. That's me. And if you say that, I mean, that he won the last 2 rounds with everybody in the world admits to that. So that's him winning the fight. But I said maybe he won first 4, and he won the last 2, that's 6. So I just think that he looked really good. I mean, he really boxed well. People say he's running. Yeah, I think they get the concept. Boxing is sticking and moving. Actually boxing. Not setting up being a robot, punching each other out. It's about being smart. It's about being intelligent. So it is actually boxing. If you think about people love and relish talking about Muhammad Ali, right? Or Sugar Leonard. If you go back and watch them, they had rounds where they didn't throw a punch. They just bounced and moved around. Nobody said they were running. So, I mean,
right.
Canelo was punching in between Triple G's punches. He was counter-punching him. People wonder why Triple G wasn't throwing those shots because, man, he was counter-punching him. He was shooting like those short, quick shots on the inside. So a lot of people didn't see it, but why do you think the guy who was the biggest puncher in the world wasn't punching?
Exactly.
He
was
very tentative. He knew he was going to get hit. Come on, man, listen. So that's the thing about it. Basically, Canelo, those first rounds, early rounds, Canelo took his offense away from him. Because he made him second guess himself. Oh, if I throw this punch, he's going to throw that punch. And he wasn't, and he's not a fast guy. So, I mean, but that's how I saw it. What I said to myself? I said, I don't want to give any point of views or ideas about other fighters because, I mean, listen, hey, everybody got their own thing, but I'm okay with that. I can answer that question, but that's how I felt about it. Other people may see something different. People thought he lost. People thought Canelo, Triple G won the fight or whatever. I didn't see it like that. I mean, he didn't see it like that himself, I don't think. I mean, he was very hesitant. He was very apprehensive in throwing punches in the beginning. And, hey, man, we'll see how it goes the second time around.
Okay. We'll pass it to you, Twine.
Okay. Before we get into your more recent or your most, I guess, your fights that you have coming up in the more intermediate term, I wanted to ask you one final question about Errol. Is it confirmed that he will be fighting this year at least? Or is that a guarantee that we will see him sometime this winter?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I mean, it's like people coming out with these stories and these fights. I'm like, man, damn, you know, they know more than me. So I mean, I don't know though. I mean, I hope so. I hope he fights in December, maybe. You know, it could be December, it could be January. I mean, I don't know. I would hope December, but I'm not for sure.
Okay, there is one thing you're able to clear up for me.
He is training, going 13, 14 rounds, or he is training, so he is sparring.
Okay.
So.
You were able to clear up something with me earlier in the week as far as a little rumor that was going around about Errol Spence possibly leaving or not, well, leaving Al Heyman current stable with a PBC and going over the Top Rank. I thought it was pretty preposterous and funny when I first heard it. So I want to let you get a chance to say what you told me, man, just to put it in your own words.
Well, think about it. It's funny because being the first person to tell to premiere some story or some idea. I mean, we don't want to be the first. We want to vet the story. I mean, you know how to get in contact with me if it's something about this. Like you hit me up, right? When you heard this, and I'm like, man, come on, it's crazy because if he left Al Heyman, where would he go? First of all, secondly, he has a contract with him. How do you get out of that? Right? I mean, third, we know how these other promoters or people feel about their fighters. You know, fighters of color, you know. So,
yeah.
You know, so it's like, what do you do? I mean, you know, so the thing about this, they came out of the room one day, they're going to leave Al Heyman. The next day, fighting Lamont Peterson. So, I mean, he's still with Al Heyman. I mean, so, come on. I mean, so it's like, you know, man, we can't really, can't really listen to the stuff. People want to talk. I had people calling me, let me know if he's going to leave him because, you know, I want to, man, listen, he's not going to leave him. I'm telling you now. So don't call me back. Don't ask me that. I mean, you asked me. You were one of the first people to ask me. Matter of fact, no, you told me because I asked, where'd you get that from? You know, hey, man, come on, man. He's with his guy, man. They have a good work. They have a good relationship. You know, and that's how it is, man. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it just would make no sense, and it just wasn't logical for that even to come out. You know, you got to figure Errol, you know, he's in a position, you know, he's not top pound for pound yet, but he's in popularity. He's up there with the number one top pound for pound guy, which is Terence Crawford right now, in popularity. And he's been brought up in a good fashion. You know, Heyman's put him in a position to win a world title already and, you know, possible unifications in the future already. So I don't see any reason why he would have to even leave Heyman. So it was just something that was put out there that he was possibly leaving to go to Top Rank, which I thought was funny. But I'll go ahead and go into the fight you got coming up this week with Jermell. This is actually something me and 2K, we've gone back and forth about a couple of times. You know, my thing is under Ronnie Shields, Jermell, you know, he was a very technical boxer, very good sound boxer on the outside. And my thing was, I guess, I was saying, you know, if you give him a couple camps with you, like it's going to, you know, he'll mentally put it together to where he'll be able to do both. You know, box from the outside and show his aggression and sit down on the punches that he's been picking up since he's been in your camp. Is that something you guys have been working towards meshing more in this camp? Or is it something, you know, you guys have talked about as far as incorporating what he was doing with Shields boxing? And, of course, you know, now he's a little bit more aggressive under your wing.
Well, you know, I never talk about Ronnie. I mean, I like Ronnie. I like him, so I never talk him. I never mention him other than when I see him. You know what I mean? I never, because, I mean, that's respect because I respected him. He's been in there for, 30 years, Mike Tyson, all these other people. So I mean, I'm not gonna come at another brother like that. You know, Jermell made his choice, but this is the one thing. My idea of boxing is this: is that every one of my guys I train, I work with them on every probability of boxing. I work with them on how to be able to move in the ring. I work with them on how to fight off the ropes, fight in the corner, in the middle of the ring. I work with them on every probability that could possibly happen, because every probability may happen, and you don't need him to come to the corner to get the instruction. He has to be able to say, okay, I remember we worked on this, and work from there. So I knew that he could box. I knew that he could move. So that really wasn't even an issue of mine. I just felt like that we work on that every now and then, right? Because he has that. He's a phenomenal mover. He's a great mover, great boxer. And so we work on certain things like cutting off the ring, because if a guy's always boxing, he's not going forward. I mean, so working on being able to fight going forward is key for everything. And I mean, working on his defense, working on his balance, you know. And so that's some of the keys. So I work with him on every punch I see Lubin throw, I work with him on. I mean, when I've seen him throw, I work with him on. You know, so because it's like the shots that people throw, you got to be prepared for them. You can't get hit or see a punch coming and be surprised. Damn, I didn't know he was going to throw that punch. So my deal is to make sure he knows that to expect every particular punch, man. So, you know, and it's meshing and it's good, you know. It's like this. You spawn in the gym, man, you can get stopped. Anybody can get stopped. So you got to be perfect. Tight defense, tight offense, everything got to be right. So that's what we focus on.
Okay, and I wanted to ask you about Rob's upcoming fight. You know, 2K alluded to it earlier about fighting Jürgen Brähmer. Has there been any concern from your camp in general about fighting over in Germany, where there's been a lot of controversial decisions in the past? Seems to favor the German fighters, of course, a lot of times when there's been a lot of bad decisions over there. Has that been a concern of you guys heading into this fight, leaving it in the hands of judges?
Well, you know, there's only one thing that we said about that fight, and it is whatever. But I have other concerns. Like the city we're fighting in is the head of the Nazi, so they rebranded the Nazis, and this is the city we're fighting in. That's more of a concern than the decision. I mean, like, you got to get to the fight. So, but that's kind of crazy that they have a fight. It's like if you go to the South or Mississippi, Alabama. It's like Mississippi, Alabama, and Germany. But, you know, hey, I'm just saying. But when it comes to the fight or whatever, man, it's only one. You go to Europe, you got to knock the guy out. They're not going to win any other way. I don't believe you will. I mean, and so, I mean, I don't train him for a knockout because I don't believe in putting heat or pressure on somebody like that. But we just work on the shots we throw, get knockouts. And that's what that's what the punches we throw and the way you put the body on them and rotate the body. You actually punch them with your whole body, not punching with your physical strength. So a lot of guys are physically strong. A lot of guys can punch. But nobody can take 160 pounds of pressure. Drop 160-pound boulder, that's Rob Brandon. Or 168 pounds of pressure on somebody's skull, what's going to happen? So when Errol Spence breaks Kell Brook's face, he's punching with his whole body. He's turning his whole body into the punch. And Jermell Charlo knocked out Charles Hadley. Which I'm sure he ain't right now because you don't get hit with that type of impact, boom, and you're okay. You can't be okay. Like, you can walk and do whatever, but you can never go back to that. So that's a lot of, they hit with 160 pounds of pressure. Think about that. Like a boulder, been boom. So, I mean, I think that the shots he's throwing, you know, he's putting his body on him. So you hit a guy with your whole body, man. That's what we're focusing on. So we're not so focusing much on knocking him out because you hit him correctly, he's going to go.
Okay, and I had one other question I wanted to ask you. It's kind of alluded more to just the generational gap and just the frame of mind of young fighters between, you know, now and, you know, your generation and generations in the past before that. just because, you know, I guess boxing has become more of a business, and, you know, they feel they need to build up certain things. I just wanted to ask, what do you think it is in guys like Terence Crawford and, you know, your guy in Errol Spence that have this attitude to where give it to, you know, I want it now. We don't need to let this build. Let's fight now kind of thing. You know, because we've been seeing that take over boxing where, you know, fights are delayed for years, you know, a year or more, you know, just to build up certain things. And we had another one pop up that we're going to touch on later in the show with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, where this was actually something that was mentioned by Anthony Joshua, you know, letting the fight marinate for, you know, for proper timing. I just wanted to know, what do you think it is in guys like Errol, you know, that to where they don't feel they need that. They feel like all their awards are going to come just by going in the ring and, you know, doing what they're supposed to do.
That's right. I think that building a fight up, I mean, how much bigger do they think these guys are going to get? I mean, how much more do you feel like you should marinate? I mean, I think that, I mean, Errol wants to fight Terence. Well, he just feel like this. He didn't, I mean, publicly, he just said he'll fight anybody at 147 gets in the ring. Point blank. So, and I don't think, and I mean, why do they need to marinate or do whatever? I mean, the fight is the fight. I mean, you know, that's what it is. I mean, Floyd and Pacquiao did it. The money's never going to be like that. So they should just let that go. Let those stars go. but I think that, hey, listen, man, right now, these guys in their prime, and I think that it's time for them. Everybody just get it on, man. Joshua and whatever, come on, man. If y'all really want to fight. Forget about that. Because listen, this is the thing about it. It's an asinine idea when you think about for Joshua to say that. When you sell out 90,000 seats in to fight Klitschko. So what are you saying? If you hold out for 2 more years, you're going to get 90,005? I mean, come on. You got 90,000 people, bro. How much bigger could you make it? You know what I'm saying? So the fans want to see it. And I mean, it's like, the fans really want to see it. The fans had the ideas of what because before it was any social media, you know what I'm saying? So everything everybody said was like right there, or they never got the opportunity to say it. So now on social media, people talk about it trash, you know, and they really say what they want to see and who they want to see fight. So, I mean, if it's a fight people want to see, I don't mind, you know, Errol and Terence Crawford. I think it's good for boxing. I mean, you know, it's good for my guy. It's going to be a good payday for both of those guys. This is a business. It is professional sports. Like I always say, listen, the worst guy on the worst NFL team is trying to renegotiate a contract. On the worst team, because that means it's all about the money. So with that being said, they got to get paid. So go get it. Let's make it happen. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Fellas, you got anything else you'd like to ask James Derrick, before we let him go?
I'm good, man. Just you know what I'm saying? Don't get too hard on me. Don't say it.
I know where you was gonna go. That's why I said don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm going.
You know, listen, you know how to get at me. Don't say it. No, just don't. You're not gonna say nothing. So listen, if you say it this time, I'm gonna come looking for you, man. What is that? The call ID your ass.
Hey, I'm far from you, Derrick. I'm in McKinney, man. You don't drive that far north.
Hey, look,
you don't drive that.
No. I work on 635.
Okay.
But,
I got
it. Look. So it ain't that far, but listen, the car. So I'm just telling you. Don't say it. Listen. So let's get past him. Who's next? So listen, we know what he's gonna say.
Oh.
I know, like, you got anything? I knew that's what he's gonna say. That's why I like, no, let it be, man.
Good call, yo. Good call.
I'm gonna get. Look, but this is the thing about it, though. We're gonna make it happen, though. I'm telling you, we're gonna make it happen, man.
No doubt. I got your number.
Nothing but space and opportunity between y'all, or y'all right near each other. So I mean, definitely.
That's right. Yeah, we like 30 miles, 20 miles. It's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing. It really is. So
I guess it has been some. I guess it has been something though. But let's keep it moving. Who next? Come on.
All right, Bernard, you got anything you'd like to ask?
I'm gonna leave you alone, man. What's up, man?
Bernard, you got anything you'd like to ask Derrick before you let him go?
No, I don't have any more questions, man. Thank you for just coming on the show, man. I appreciate it. I mean, we all appreciate it.
Coming in, and we wish Jermell the best of luck this weekend. You know, all fighters come out safe as well. Man, you definitely get my vote for Trainer of the Year this year. So, I mean, I definitely appreciate the work you putting in, brother.
No doubt.
Appreciate that, bro. Listen, man, appreciate all the love coming on the show. You know, I hope you guys get everything y'all expect. You know what I mean? Because for the fights, you know, everybody's fighting, and everybody. I mean, I want it to be great because I want the PBC to keep thriving. Showtime to keep doing that thing, man. I want to see all the fighters. I mean, because really they got all the fighters anyway. So everybody fighting and everybody moving, and I think it's gonna be good for boxing, man. I think it's good for the PBC. It's great for Showtime, and thanks for all the love, all you cats, man. You know, y'all keep doing y'all thing, man.
All right, much appreciated, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
All right, have a good evening.
All right. Yeah, later, yeah.
All right, so we'll dive into some of our other topics that we got going on this week. And let me go ahead and introduce Bogart, who was able to join us from the Third World. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with you, man?
I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but I'm going to try this, man.
We hear your punk ass.
Oh, is that bitch ass motherfucking light skinned nigga 2K? He must miss him older brother. Okay, man, I got you.
Nigga, older brother, you like grandpa, nigga.
Hold on, wait a minute, motherfucker. Damn. Hold on. Damn. Wait a minute, nigga.
Oh, shit.
Y'all got Bernard on here?
Yeah, he on.
All right,
Hey, before you say anything, motherfucker, I don't want to hear your goddamn mouth. I know what I told you about me not being on, but fuck you, I'm on anyway, all right?
No, nigga, you said you wasn't supposed to be on.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
It's the only thing I know that say, yo, I'm not going to be on social media. I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be taking a break, man. The next day, that motherfucker was all on the motherfucker making videos and stuff and shit.
It was like 2 in the morning. I was like, nigga, you don't take your old ass to bed.
Man, This has been some of the best rest my ass has ever gotten.
All right, so let's get into the rest of our topics for the week. You know, we got a couple of interesting ones to go through ourselves. First off, let's talk about the rematch being in play for David Benavidez and Ronald Gavril. A lot of people thought Gavril may have squeaked out a draw or a possible victory because of the last round knockdown he had against Benavidez, and of course Benavidez wasn't the same effective fighter we've seen him in previous outings. So let me get you guys' thoughts on this rematch. I'll personally say I'm not upset with it. I actually like the rematch being done. But I'll let you guys put your take on it, starting off with Bo, since you fresh.
I was one of those who thought that fight should have been, if the fight was a draw, I wouldn't have been angry about it. David Benavidez, I think what happened to him was, I actually think he took this dude Galvin lightly. I think he took him lightly. I think he got so hyped off his big victory over Porky Medina and the way he knocked him out that he thought this was a walk in the park for him, so he didn't take it seriously, which goes to a level of experience, a level of maturity, and he made some mistakes. Like, he made some mistakes in that Gavin fight, especially like when he's walking towards him, he's walking toward a hurt fighter with his hands down and his feet side by side. That's you asking for, you know what I'm saying? That's you asked for some shit to happen. So I actually like this rematch. This is one of those rematches that they reorder that I like and look forward to because now Gavin knows what he's dealing with. Now David Benavidez knows what he's dealing with. So the question becomes, will we see a different David Benavidez? Will he step his game up? Or Gavin, come in and step his game up? And those are, and like to me, this fight is going to determine all say that Benavidez is going to be on the line in this fight because we saw him kind of, I'm not going to say exposed, but we saw him, kind of have some difficulties with a fighter. A lot of thought he should have easy with. So now this is going to tell us, hey, what you really made of, because now you're going back in the Lions Den again. Now, but this time you're going in as a champion. So let's see what he's made of. I like it.
Okay, let me go ahead and pass it over to Detective B. What's your thoughts about this rematch in play?
I think it's a good matchup. I mean, some people felt it was a close fight. Some people felt it was controversy. Run it back and prove that you prove that you can do better than you did last time. With that being said, I don't really get the gist of what's going on. You got Calvin Smith, who's over there fighting in the Super World Series boxing, whatever the thing is called over there. You got Anthony Derrell, who's supposed. I don't know who he's.
Yeah, he's fighting some no name on FS1 that just got announced. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing right there to see him take that kind of step back personally. But go ahead.
Right, so as of right now, I can't really picture anybody else. Well, yeah, he could fight in the super middleweight division that could get like another name because I think if I'm correct, Andre Derrell, Anthony's brother, is still supposed to be doing a rematch with the
who's kind of guy.
Yeah, he's supposed to do another rematch with him. So, I mean, there's pretty much nobody else I can see right now. I mean, yeah, Peter Quillen moved up. By how he got, he's going to be going in there for a title shot. You know what I'm saying? So. As of right now, yeah, run that back. That was a good fight. It was a good 12-round fight. Like I said, there was some controversy. People felt certain ways. Some people had Gavril winning. Some people had Benavidez winning. So, run it back.
All right, TK, let me get your take on that as far as a different, that's a different aspect. Do you think it'll be the same turnout? Will we see a more impressive Benavidez? Because he kind of looked, we were able to see his flaws for once in this fight, I guess, more than anything, which is something I wasn't necessarily pointing out in previous fights, which I was able to more in this Gavril fight. So do you think we see a cleaner version of Benavidez, or is his bad habits right now?
Look here, bro. Don't poke the fucking bear. Don't press your luck. You know what I'm saying? Over the course of boxing history, we've seen a lot of fighters who have turned out to become world champions or even legends or Hall of Famers and all-time greats. They struggled against no-name motherfuckers early in their career. And when they did so, they would get a split decision win or majority decision win or even a draw, you know what I'm saying? But they moved on, and they got better and they fought better opposition along with that. David Benavidez is doing something that most of these all-time greats, legends, former world champions, etc., they don't do. When they struggle against a no-name motherfucker and they squeak by with a decision, they move on. He needs to do so. I don't think he should run it back. He fuck around and poke the bear and press his luck, fuck around and lose. At 21 or 20 years old, I think he's 21, he still has a long career ahead of him, but boxing is all about what have you done for us lately. And if you go out there and you lose to a no-name motherfucker that you're pretty much, putting your title on the line just to give this no-name motherfucker another chance because you got a chip on your shoulder because of the way you looked in that first fight, you might be down on yourself. You might be like, damn, man, I know I can knock this motherfucker out. Why the hell did I get a split decision? All that ego bullshit. Put that shit to bed. It's not worth it. But it looks like he's going to do it anyway. So, hey, I wish him the best, but it can all turn out bad for this dude, man. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man.
I mean, let's take a look at, Chocolatito versus Sorensai.
Exactly.
Similar scenario, You got a guy, Gavril, that might be wanting to apply more pressure or do whatever, just to get that kind of, leave it out of the hands of the judges kind of thing, So it's definitely something I agree with K could backfire on him.
Real talk, to use your example, because it was a great one, Roman Gonzalez should have done what I just said about after the Cuadras fight, but in the sense of moving back down to 112. He shouldn't have stayed at 115. You see what I'm saying? Then he loses to Rungvisai, and he says, well, I'll run it back. No, motherfucker. You should have went back down to 112. And now he's sitting here, scrambling, trying to get a title fight. It's ridiculous. Same thing could happen with Benavidez, man. So this is what it is.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic. Before we do, I want to give a shout out to one of our listeners, one of my youngins back home in Cali, 3-time national champion. Little Nico Sanchez was good, man. Glad you're listening. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back to come kick it with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Expect them to be good pros. You know what I'm saying? He's still young, though. You know what I'm saying? Real young. But he's like a natural. It's like natural with him. So, I mean, shout out to listening to him and his dad for listening to the show tonight. With that said, we're going to, I guess, we're not going to go too deep in this one. I think we will all unanimously agree. Terence Crawford has been bumped up to number 1 pound-for-pound fighter by the BWAA, the Boxing Writers Association, in the aftermath of Andre Ward retiring. So, I mean, shout out to him. There's no way we could actually dispute this right now. I mean, 2-division champion, undisputed in 1. So, I mean, I think it definitely speaks for itself. Only thing I may want to touch on, while Terence Crawford has definitely pulled in the better numbers for Top Rank in recent outings, what do you think he needs to do to get that higher profile to where he's just like he's getting the proper praise from everywhere? You know, not just us hardcore pundits, but, you know, the casual fan base as well. I'll go ahead and start off with 2K on this one.
You talking about Terence Crawford?
Terence Crawford, yeah, because I'm like, I still don't think he's at the level of popularity.
There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. Look at Andre Ward. Andre Ward is our last Olympic gold medalist. He's beaten everybody put in front of him. Motherfucker was in a Super 6 tournament with 5 of the best 168-pounders in the same tournament with him. He was also the major underdog in that tournament. Wins the tournament unscathed, still couldn't get no respect. Nigga goes in there, beats Sergey Kovalev twice, still didn't get no respect. You know, Terence Crawford is the same type of fighter. They don't have the same style, but they look at boxing from a mental aspect in the same manner. You see what I'm saying? So they're going to go into the ring and play chess. They're not necessarily going out there, you know, fighting like Ruslan Provodnikov. You know what I'm saying? I'll go back in time, Rocky Marciano, just to give a little perspective. They're not going out there just to run into punches to try to knock the opponent out so the fucking fan base can be excited. You see what I'm saying? This is about chess. This is about hit, not get hit. They have the same aspect or the mental aspect. They look at boxing the same way. So as long as that is a factor, he will be treated in the same manner as Andre Ward. The only way for these fighters to get the publicity that they want and deserve, they have to play the villain. And we've seen it time and time again over boxing history, man. When motherfuckers are too good, and particularly when they're black and too good, right, they don't get the support that they deserve. They get nothing but fucking hate. And so they have to play the villain. And that was the genius idea that Floyd Mayweather had. He said, well, shit, I'm fucking all these niggas up at 135, fucking niggas up at 140. I'm still not getting my just due. Got to play the villain. And that's what happened. Now he's the most popular boxer of this fucking era because he decided to play the villain. Tim Bradley, who decided to go the opposite route, look where he at now. You see what I'm saying? So this motherfucker didn't even really hit his potential the way he should have. Look where he's at now. So that's what you got to do, man. You got to play the villain. And it sucks because he's too good. He's a black fighter. He's already, as DBN says, he's already not going to have his Hope Insurance card. They don't give that to fighters like Terence Crawford or Andre Ward. He's already past that point of no return. So you got to play the villain if you want that respect, man. If you want that popularity you're looking for. Hey, if he's fine by just winning and putting his name, you know, in boxing history without all the popularity and fame, which he doesn't really need, right? He could still make his money, you know, and sit comfortably and retire as one of the greatest fighters that ever lived. He could possibly do that without having all this fame and shit and buzz behind him. But if he aspires to be on like a Floyd Mayweather level, right? Because when you're a boxer and you think, hey, I want to be more popular, of course you don't cap yourself to be less than a Floyd Mayweather, right? Or a Manny Pacquiao. You want to be the most popular motherfucker in boxing at that time. So in order for him to get on that level, even Canelo, right? in order for him to get on that level, he's got to play the villain. It sucks, but it's true.
Yeah, definitely a good point you mentioned there. We got an example of a fighter that's been able to talk his way into staying in the limelight by playing the villain, a.k.a. Adrian Broner. So, I mean, you know, you're definitely right about that. Playing the villain role seems to benefit black fighters. Unfortunately, it turns into a shake and jive kind of thing sometimes, and definitely don't need that as well. Bo, is there anything you'd like to add to this? Do you think there's anything Crawford could do outside of, you know what I'm saying, tuning? I hate to use the term, but outside of going that route to basically, you know, get the kind of popularity of a Canelo or, you know, just something that's just due of a number one pound-for-pound fighter? Because you got to think of what past history shows, man. You know, these guys are on Wheaties boxes and shit like that. Like, we don't see that with boxing no more. So, I mean, to bring it back to that, what would possibly just even to get past the Andre Ward, you know, the level he got in popularity, do you think there's anything he can do outside of what 2K just mentioned?
No, but I'm going to disagree with 2K on one aspect of it is outside him being too good. Here's the thing, because Terence Crawford, he's whipping, like, look at the way he beat the shit out of Felix Diaz. Look at the way he beat the shit out of Hank Lundy. He is knocking motherfuckers out and beating motherfuckers' ass, right? The problem, like 2K said, I remember something was said to Marvin Hagler, and that was, Marvin, you're never going to be as great as you want to be. Why? Because you're southpaw and you're black. Terence Crawford has the same thing. He can fight you lefty or righty. He's too good. He can make you look, no matter how good you think your fight is, he can make you look small. If I take Vasily Lomachenko and I take Terence Crawford and I put everything that I see in them in the box, why is Terence Crawford not getting the same praise as Vasily Lomachenko? And Terence Crawford is doing more than Vasily Lomachenko. And motherfuckers might hate to hear that shit, but it's true. I mean, even look at Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin fought one fucking champion in David Lemieux. You know how many champions Terence Crawford fought? Way more than fucking one. And he became undisputed, something that has not been done. To 2K's point, the last fighter that was able to play the good guy and get famous was Sugar Ray fucking Coon and Duck and Aaron Pryor ass Duck and Leonard. That was the only motherfucker that was able to do that. And how long ago was that? Okay, and how long ago was that? So, yeah, you're right. Listen, there's nothing he can do. Adrian Broner didn't play the villain. He played a fool. There's a big goddamn difference. He didn't play a villain to me. Adrian Broner just played a goddamn fool. But to your point, yeah, man, it's sad because, and you hate to say it, but it's true. And I know every time you hear that, they be like, oh, there them guys go again with that race. It's fucking true. Tell me what Terence Crawford is doing that's different from Golovkin, that's different from Canelo, that's different from motherfucking Lomachenko. What is he doing different? He's like, he ain't making you wait to fight. When they told him, yo, man, we think you scared of Victor Postol, bring that ass. When they said, yo, man, we think you scared of Felix Diaz, bring that ass. He told Daddy, I'll beat you and your daddy ass, boy. Keep talking. Okay? This is the only dude that said, he'll fight both Thurman and fucking Spence. He's going to fight Thurman and Spence. This is the only cat that's saying that. Right? Nobody's saying that. And not just Timothy Bradley, Shane Mosley tried to play the good guy. We saw what happened there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's not, like you said, there's nothing he could do because the dangers of Terence Crawford is, it's sad because Crawford is one of them dudes that we'll always want to see him go, they'll always want to see him go up in weight to fight people because he's that good. They think, man, he just have to go up in weight to take a loss. But those same things that in Crawford, we're not asking other cats to make them type of sacrifices. We're not asking Golovkin to take his ass. Even when he says, I'll go from 154 to 168, guess what? He ain't got to do that. You know, and it is sad that in order for him to get where he is, like you said, he's going to have to play a villain. Same thing with Errol Spence. You know, mild-mannered cat like Errol Spence, and we know how dangerous he is and how good he is, but unless he plays the villain, like you said, man, unless you're willing to be like Floyd, dog, there's nothing he can do, man. He's too good. And outside of his fight, it's the fact that he can fight you, he can outbox you, he can fight lefty or righty. You really can't see too many flaws in that boy game. He is too fucking good, and on top of that, he's black. And let's just face it, it ain't just fans. We don't even support. Like, Canelo has the Mexican fan base. You can say Vasily Lomachenko and Gennady Golovkin have the Caucasian fan base. And, you know, we need to support our own, and we don't do it. So if we ain't gonna do it, we can't expect other motherfuckers to do it, and that's a damn shame because Crawford is really worth that type of support.
Very good point you bring up there. Man, let's go into our next topic based off of that. I'm pretty sure Bernard would have just piggybacked off of something. I mean,
actually, no.
Did you want to? Okay, you got something to add? Go ahead, Bernard.
I mean, the only thing I could piggyback is I could agree with 2K saying that he needs to play the villain. I think he needs to get away from Bob Arum.
Yeah, good point. Like he does. I agree with that.
He needs to get away from that. Could start him being looked at as the villain. Because if you notice, when Andre Ward tried to get away from Goosen, people stopped liking Andre Ward. When Floyd left Arum, that was the beginning of that hate. You know what I'm saying? That he started to see, even though I forget how he played the villain as well. But get away from Arum, Arum's going to shoot that, make him look like a villain. And he's not going to even have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going to happen is there's going to be a potential, possibly, hypothetically speaking, whether Arum gets a hold of another top 147 fighter or up-and-comer. And I'm throwing this scenario out there. Say, for instance, Terence Crawford is the guy. But we all want to see that fight. This is how we saw Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather. That's what I'm saying in that aspect. That Arum can make him the villain. I never really been too impressed with Terence Crawford's resume because he fought guys that just only that Arum put him in front of because Arum does not go outside of his in-house shit except for recently when he had to give him before John Molina and Diaz. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that. Those are some names, but let's be honest. Beforehand, Hank Lundy, really? I mean, they were just then. Okay, yeah, he had Gamboa on his Gamboa. I mean, who Postal? Give him Postal too, because Postal was undefeated and was a champion as well. But really, between that time, there was not really that many names. You know what I'm saying? So when you sit back and look at the situation, he's going to have to get away from Arum, or he's going to have to do what I believe he will get the love and the respect he deserves if he forces Arum's hand to say, yo, you know what? I want to fight Heyman fighters. Because let's be honest, anybody associated with Al Heyman gets hate. And if you could beat those fighters that are associated with Al Heyman, I bet you 9 times out of 10, he's going to get the love and respect from the fans and from the characters.
I definitely agree with you there, Bernard. You give a good example of breaking away from Arum. Andre Ward breaking away from Goosen. And if you think about it, those are actually the only times they were able to build their brand is when they left the control of those things. I'm not sure if that's something, necessarily Crawford thinks about, but I definitely agree with your point there. Good point. Definitely those guys were able to grow their brand once they left and, took chances doing other things. Even Andre Ward would be with an unknown entity like Rock Nation, which has sucked overall as a boxing promoter. But, he's been able to elevate himself somewhat. Even if it's just financially or with the opportunities outside of boxing, with being an analyst and all that now. Definitely I think that's something Terence Crawford will have to want to do for himself is explore those opportunities to further his brand. And, him and Errol Spence are kind of similar. They're very mild-mannered and don't say a lot. So that might be just their character to where they don't really care for that kind of thing either. So, we'll see how it plays out over time. We'll go ahead and go into our next topic. It's looking like the WBC. They had their convention over the past week. They're ordering a couple of fights to be made in the aftermath of Terence Crawford actually getting rid of his title. It's looking like he'll be vacating. So in the interim, for the WBC 140 fight, it was announced that an interim super lightweight title bout was ordered between Regis Prograis and Victor Postol, who previously lost to Terence Crawford. And another one that was put out there was Gary Russell fighting Jojo Diaz, which is going to be ordered by the WBC as well. Let me get you guys' takes on these initial fights mentioned by the WBC. First off, Corrales versus Postal. I actually like the fight. Postal, I think he's not there mentally right now. Terence Crawford put a number on him. But
How long was his layoff? Postal's layoff.
He just fought on September 10th. Yeah, he fought on September 10th, I believe, and almost got knocked out in that
Bernard, you need to start watching my fucking channel, nigga. I covered this shit already. See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
How long was his fucking layoff? How long was his fucking layoff?
There wasn't no layoff, nigga. He fought last month. What layoff?
Before that fight, motherfucker.
you saw that fight? How'd you see that fight? It was in Russia, nigga. It was in Ukraine.
Nigga, listen, shut the fuck up and listen to what I'm saying. Before he was out for
over a year, 14 months, close to 14 months.
That's all. That's all, nigga. That's all.
Oh, well, make a point to say that then, nigga. Next time with your country ass. Go ahead, B.
Drill sergeant ass.
Yo, hold on, wait a minute. Did somebody smack this nigga eggs this morning? What the fuck is going on, man?
Man, let me get you guys' take on that order by the WBC though, with Regis Corrales versus Victor Postol. Just that's the first one, and then we'll go into Gary Russell versus JoJo Diaz being ordered.
Don't forget they also ordered Salido versus Burcho too.
Oh shit. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay. So I'll go ahead and start out with you on this one, Bo. Starting off with the Corrales and Postal fight, and we'll go into the other ones from there. Or I guess you could go in all three, and we'll just do it like that.
Man, look, the Corrales versus Postal, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. Victor Postal, I don't know what the fuck Terence Crawford did to him, but he fucked that boy's confidence all the fuck up. I don't care if he was off for a year. He came back, dog, and damn near got knocked out by a dude that shouldn't have been that much of a problem for him. And you can definitely tell that he's one of those fighters, man, that once he got, because of the way Crawford beat him, he's one of them fighters, man, that every time it looks like he might get into some trouble, he reverts back to that fight. So from a mental standpoint, hell yeah, I question the shit out of it because Corrales, man, and we had him on the show, man, he got the skills, he has the IQ, and he has the mental toughness, man, to get in there and really make Victor Postal answer the question, do I really want to go through this again? And so I real talk, after what I saw and everything, I'm leaning toward Regis to win that fight, man. I think Regis is going to win that fight. He might even knock this motherfucker out because I just don't believe Victor Postal is there. And I really don't believe it's there no more, man, because like I said, man, you off that long and you come back against a fighter like he did in Russia, which you had all the advantages for this fight, and you look that bad. That's never a good sign when a fighter looks like that. Never. I remember George Foreman after Ali came back and he fought who was he fought? I think it was but I know whoever he fought, that was such a tough fight that after that, that's when George was like, man, he retired because it's like, man, I got my ass beat here. And he retired. So, yeah, I got Regis winning that fight. JoJo Diaz versus
Gary Russell.
Gary Russell. Come on, man. JoJo ain't ready for that work because JoJo, in my opinion, got caught a break when Lara got injured.
Let me ask you this one, Bo. Actually, let me ask you this one. Do you think Oscar even lets him take this fight right now?
No. Hell no. No. I don't think Oscar let him take this fight. I'm being honest with you, man. I don't think Oscar let him. The only way this fight will happen is if JoJo demands it. JoJo will have to demand Oscar, listen, I need to take this fight because if I don't take it, I'm going to get knocked down by the WBC. I'm a Mando, and I'm going to get knocked down by the WBC. And I might get looked at as a coward. Fuck your politics. I might get looked at as a coward, dog. And, I didn't see Canelo go through that shit. I ain't trying to go through that shit. That's the only way that happened. But even if it happens, man, JoJo Diaz, in my opinion, if I am Oscar, I'm going to tell him, hey, man, look here, dog. You're not taking that fight, bro. You ain't ready for that. You're not ready for that. You ain't ready for that, man. You ain't ready for that Gary Russell shit just yet, dog. So, but like I said, he caught a break when Lara got hurt. So I got Gary Russell on that one. Then that's a Leo and Burchill fight. That's going to be a good one, man. I'm going to wait for that fight to actually happen before I pick a winner because that fight right there got making the fight of the year. And then what was the third? What was the last one?
That was all three of them, actually.
He just went through all those.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, yeah, but I like what they ordered. You know, I'll put it like this. I like what the WBC has done by ordering them. So they all good fights. It's just that, what'd you say?
I was going to say, Corrales and Postal's not for the WBC. Yeah, it's for the interim because they got to marry Mom and fucking the winner of Mike Reed and Juan Ramirez as WBC vacant.
I'm not even mentioning that shit. Like, I still want somebody to explain to me how the fuck did Amir Imam become number one?
Yeah, one fight. He had that one fight in like 2 years.
They did the same shit with Romain Stavern, man. That's how it works.
Yep.
That's how it works.
That's some bullshit. But all those fights, I like them. But the intriguing one to me is that Post and Prograis, because this could be the end of Victor Postol. Seriously, it really could. If he gets knocked the fuck out, this could be the end of Victor Postol. And what I don't want to happen is, I don't want, if Victor Postol get knocked out by Prograis, for people to start diminishing what Terence Crawford did. I say, well, Postol probably wasn't that good. I don't know what it is with motherfuckers judging the cat after you beat him. Like, if he looked like shit after you whooped his ass, they want to discredit what he looked like before you whooped his ass. I don't get that shit with these motherfuckers in boxing. Haters, fanboys, and casuals, they fucking up this sport big time, man.
All right, and there actually is another good one that I could put out there. I forgot to even put this out there. The Diamond Belt versus the Super, or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what the hell they got.
Mikey Garcia and Jorge Linares. Wait a minute. I saw Toothpaste show on that shit. Jorge Linares' face was fucking priceless.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to TK now, man. Linares' camp has been saying for some time, even before the Luke Campbell fight, that Garcia is the fight they wanted. And the WBC just called his bluff and said, I'll be your motherfucking Huckleberry. Does Linares really want this work? Based on what we saw in the Campbell fight.
His team might be saying that shit, but Jorge Linares himself ain't saying a goddamn thing until conveniently both fighters have something on the fucking docket. If Mikey Garcia is getting ready to fight, I can't remember the cat he took the belt off of at 135. If he's getting ready to fight him, he's saying, oh, shit, I want Mikey. If he's getting ready to fight Anthony Crolla, oh, yeah, I want Mikey. If Mikey's getting ready to fight Adrian Broner, yeah, I want Mikey. If he's getting ready to fight Crolla or for a second time or Luke Campbell, oh, yeah, I want Mikey. But in between those fights, when there are periods of inactivity for both fighters, Mikey Garcia is like, yeah, I want that Linares fight. Linares is as silent than a motherfucker. Somebody took that nigga's tongue out of his mouth. He ain't got nothing to say, dog. Real talk. So it is what it is, man. You know, the WBC ordered the fight. You know, Jorge Linares has nowhere to hide or run. It's either going to be a situation where he's like, yeah, go ahead and make the fight. You know what I'm saying? This is the fight I've wanted. Or there's going to be some shit, you know, where they do the same thing that what's his name, Terry Flanagan did, who's in the same division. Motherfucker going to come up with some type of skeptical leg injury of some sort and say, oh, shit, I can't fight nigga right now.
Leg injury.
I can't fight till next year or the end of next year, which is going to tie Mikey up into another fight. So, but at the same time, you know, Mikey's been looking at fights outside of 135 and shit, you know, trying to get the Miguel Cotto fight at 154. We all know that's not going to happen now. Of course, he fought AB at 140. He's been talking about trying to fight Lomachenko. There's been a Crawford fight that he's been talking about, but Crawford really isn't looking at him. So he's been trying to go in other divisions any fucking way. So, I mean, we'll see, yo. But at this point in time, there's nowhere for this motherfucker to run or hide. So it's really going to be a situation of the ball is really in Linares' court. Like, everybody's looking at him like, what you going to say, bro? So we'll see.
Okay. And let me get your take on this one since you are our resident minimum weight expert. Juan Heyman Yilton, of course, he has a voluntary defense coming up next month, but he is slated to fight the number one contender after that, after his voluntary defense, Leroy Estrada. What can you tell us about that matchup initially?
I ain't going to tell you shit about it. I mean, this is the thing. If Wayne Hamini-Yothin is not fighting knockout CP Freshmore, I don't give a fuck. That's all. And you know, and I'm just saying, man, like, I've been a guy that's been talking about Wayne Hamini-Yothin for over a year or two. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my thing. If he's not fighting knockout CP Freshmart, I'm not interested. Real talk. I don't care anymore. It seems like to me
it's a fight that will probably never happen. So.
Right, because they're both under Diamond Boxing Promotions, which is a Thai-based organization. Both of these fighters are from Thailand, so that particular the CEO of that particular company is looking to take over the smaller weight divisions with those two fighters in their stable. It's probably not going to happen. So what is he, 48-0 right now? It looks to me that they're just cruising along to get past that 49-0 mark, which really doesn't fucking matter anyway. That's a heavyweight record. You know what I'm saying? But maybe they care about it, maybe they don't. I don't know. But it just seems to me, I mean, his last fight was 21-44. You know what I'm saying? That was his last fight in August. I mean, come on, man. I don't care about
rounds.
Right. It didn't go 6 rounds. It was a 6-round bout. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. He won that shit by unanimous decision. I don't care about nobody else. I just want to see Menayothin versus Freshmart. If I don't hear that fucking fight on the docket, don't ask me about Menayothin. Real talk.
All right, let me go ahead and swing it over to you, Bernard. I'm going to ask you this one because this is something we actually were talking about in Eastwick. It was something that was put out also from the WBC. Now, this is a weird one because Canelo doesn't want anything to do with the motherfucking WBC. But these motherfuckers had the goddamn audacity to order the direct rematch between him and Triple G. I'm not quite sure what the hell is going on here when they have a contender that actually wants to fight for the actual title, and Jermell Charlo, who's the number one available contender right now, number one. So let me get your thoughts on that one, man. Go ahead, Bernard.
Well, you know what? It's going to come down to, let's be honest, it's going to come down to De La Hoya protecting Canelo. Or maybe Canelo telling De La Hoya, yo, I don't want the WBC is not going to dictate my career. They're not going to tell me who I'm going to fight. So, man, this is kind of one of those situations where you want to see that fight again because it was a draw. But then also I want to see Jermell Charlo get the shot against Triple G and see if he could take who's all got to go. So I want to see who's going to win that bout. Ugh.
And also, let me get your opinion. What out of those fights that we mentioned, which one actually excites you the most as far as the announcements that the WBC made for ordering fights? Which one actually do you want to see? Because we actually had
I want to see the Mike Garcia and Linares.
Okay.
That's a unification. Well, yeah, it's gonna be a unification bout too because Linares.
Yeah. He held the diamond belt and a WBA. Okay. That's actually a good one, man, but I just don't think Linares really want that work as much as they've been talking.
But if you look at it though, look at the situation where we got in here. You had the Gary Hustle versus JoJo Diaz potential bout with WBC ordering. You have Linares versus Garcia being ordered by the WBC. This is an opportunity for Golden Boy to work with PBC. Hear me out when I say this. But as we all know through the racist emails and the articles that came out from Bloody Elbow as well as Boxing Scene, that they may not take these fights. Or Golden Boy or Oscar may not have their fighters take these fights. And it's a shame that when it's all said and done, PBC is going to be the one that's going to get the heat from the shit. You know what I'm saying? And not Golden Boy. From us, the boxing purists and the boxing enthusiasts that know the sport and know the business side of boxing, we be like, yo, that's Oscar's fault because he's not pushing his fighters. He don't want his fighters. It's like you can't. For how long can you protect your fighters from other fighters and not make these big fights happen? Let's be honest. All it takes is one punch to have it. I'm not saying JoJo Diaz could go in there and knock out Gary Russell, but one punch could change it. It can happen. You know what I'm saying? Same with Jorge Linares. Hypothetically speaking, I'm just saying that anything can happen in boxing. It's one of those sports that's what we love about boxing. So put him out there. You know what I'm saying? And that's the case. If you feel your fighter's gonna lose, put a rematch clause in it. That's all you gotta do. And this is just a fucking shame.
All right. And there's one other fight I'm gonna put out there. We actually talked about it on the last show. It was announced for the Deontay Wilder undercard coming up, but it's now been made for a silver title. Sean Porter's fight against Adrian Granados will be for the silver belt. So Danny Garcia, looks like I don't know, you missed out on the opportunity, man, because you didn't want to get that Porter work, and he's been clowning the shit out of you. So, I mean,
he supposed to be fighting Brandon Rios, supposedly, Danny Garcia.
That seems like just a confidence booster or something. No, that ain't no real fight.
How's that a fucking confidence? You know what I mean?
That's just to build confidence fight for him. If he didn't want to go after a title immediately, go ahead, Bo.
I got a question. The guy that Porter's fighting, how you spell?
Say that again.
How you spell his last name? The guy that Sean Porter is fighting. How you spell his last name?
Granados, Granados. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll go ahead and go ahead, Bernard. You got something you wanted to add?
I feel that Granados, his stock did raise in that fight against Adrian Broner. I feel that he should have fight Sean Porter because he's coming off a loss. I feel like if anything, he should fight Danny Garcia. Just two guys coming off a loss, and let Brandon Rios, who just won, go against Sean Porter. I don't think that would be it. Well,
Danny Garcia don't want that. Listen, if Andy Garcia ain't talking about somebody, trust me, that means that Danny really don't care for these fights.
Well, that's how I wish how things would happen. But I personally feel that Adrian Granados is going to become I've said it on the show once before. He's going to become the Gabe Rosado of the welterweight division. You're going to have a fight at
140 and 140 and 147, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. He got hard. He's taking top fights, and it's like, damn, let him give a chance to build himself up. You know what I'm saying? Let him get I don't want to say a tune-up, but a decent competitor to go get. Hey, I would like to see him against Brandon Rios. That would be a good bout. But it is what it is. So,
all right. So we'll go ahead and go to a topic that's been hot the last 2 days. In the interview with the Sun, I believe, was it with Johnny Nelson? Anthony Joshua pretty much details his plans regarding Deontay Wilder. He pretty much, just to sum it up, he said he has pretty much two angels or whatever the fuck it is. He's pretty much battling the dilemma of the business versus the business side and prolonging the fight and taking the fight now and just going after the gusto. And from his comments, a lot of people are making it seem like he doesn't want to fight. You know, he said he's going to fight him. It wasn't a question of that, but the timing of it was what has caught everybody off guard in his statements. I'll go ahead and start off with TK on this one.
Why? God damn it. See.
Okay, fine. We ain't got to do that. No, I'll let Bo do it.
Look here. You know I already fucked up. Look here. You already know how I hate. You already know how I hate.
You gonna do the Bill Duke face on us? You know you fucked up, right? You know you fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Hell yeah. You already know I can't stand when motherfuckers give 1,001 excuses for why they're not gonna take a big fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about money, timing. You know what I'm saying? Your wife won't fuck you at that time. You know, shit's not going right for you. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had no problem taking on Vladimir Klitschko at that time. No problem. Vladimir Klitschko, though he lost to Tyson Fury, and that's probably why you took that fight, because he was already exposed, right? But even though he lost to Tyson Fury, he was still one of the top 4 heavyweights in the division, okay? You already got garbage-ass Kubrat Pulev coming up when you were supposed to fight Luis Ortiz. Mind you, Luis Ortiz was mandated as your motherfucking next fight. before you fought Vladimir Klitschko. The WBA clearly said, hey, if you beat Klitschko, you got to fight Luis Ortiz. When you beat Klitschko, you acted as if Luis Ortiz didn't fucking exist. Is that because that fight wasn't the right timing either? Get the fuck out of here, nigga. I see right through that shit. You could pick up. You can't honor the WBA's fucking ruling to fight Luis Ortiz, right? Nor can you take a matchup with, in my opinion, a fighter who doesn't possess all of the basic skills in the heavyweight division. All he has is power. And Deontay Wilder, you can't even take that fucking fight.
And Deontay has told you that's all he has is power, too. That's the fucked up part about it.
Exactly, Bo. He has admitted that he has that power is the great equalizer, that he has flaws in other aspects of his game. And he's probably saying that shit to try to get these motherfuckers to take a fight. The nigga is simply downgrading his skill set in public so niggas will fight him. This shit is ridiculous, man. So if the fans are calling for this fucking fight, you've already fought Vladimir Klitschko, a guy that's going into the Hall of Fame, right? You've got a fucking tune-up in Kubrat Pulev, a guy that's already admitted that he's afraid of you, right? Then why can't you fight Deontay next? Get the fuck out of here. Man, get this motherfucker out of here, bro. I'm done with this cat, man. Been done with AJ. You know what? It's funny. 18-0 with 18 knockouts. It is what it is. Eddie Hearn has created a monster. You know what I'm saying? He created a monster. And Eddie Hearn is probably in his ear like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to get that Deontay Wilder fight, man. Fuck that, man. You know what I'm saying? We got all the fans out here. We get all the bitches, nigga. We got all this money. I just seen a picture of Anthony Joshua's mansion. Big-ass mansion. Huge. You know what I'm saying? The nigga's set right now. He don't need to take no risk. He's already crossed that threshold where he's become a champion, unified right now. He's become a unified champion. No need for him to take no risk at 18-0. And I think the nigga's like only, 25 years old. I don't know his age. Fucking I don't care. Point is, he's still young. He don't need to take no risk. So he's going to do whatever he needs to do to not take that risk. That's why he's not fighting Deontay. That's why he didn't fight Luis Ortiz. And that's why he's fighting Kubrat Pulev. I don't give a fuck what he says. Get out of here, man.
All right. Man, let me pass it off to Bo on this part, man. I was looking at something Steven Espinoza, said in response to Joshua and just what their path is for him. When they made the deal, it was ultimately to make, they wanted a 2018 possible summer showdown between him and Deontay Wilder. Everything seems to be clearing towards that path with Deontay, being able to fight the rematch with Stavern now, being that ruled as is mandatory. He'll have that out of the way. Joshua's fighting Pulev. That mandatory will be out of the way. And it looks like there's only one or two more fights left on his deal with Showtime. But Espinoza said, of course, they plan and intend on keeping him part of their network. Now, do you think Espinoza and Showtime are giving him some flex here because they're saying, you got another fight or two, which ultimately times out, okay, you have to fight Deontay Wilder in your final fight of this contract, kind of like Andre Ward versus Kovalev. Do you think Showtime is giving him too much power by saying we're still going to make you a priority despite the shit you just said, trying to push this shit off until 2019?
It's not just Showtime. It's it's Anthony Joshua fans. Prior to anything happening, I remember this. I remember UK fans was making a statement, and I was in a hangout, and they were saying that that if the WBA or the IBF try to force anything on Joshua, fuck it, drop them belts. Them belts don't mean nothing. You make them belts. But when it came to Deontay Wilder, he should have dropped his belt to fight Dylan White, which more explains to me why Eddie Hearns is pushing Dylan White off on fucking Deontay Wilder and not Anthony Joshua off on Deontay Wilder. So the bottom line is, and I said this, what he has done is he's taking the business a hack, and he sees the benefits. He's reaping them very well. He don't have to, like you said, he's worshipped over there in the UK. He can fight over in the UK and make just as much money over there in the UK without dealing with the political bullshit that we have over here in the U.S. market. And he's reaping the benefits, and he's loving, like 2K said, big ass mansion on GQ and all of that shit, and he's loving that, and he really is. But here's the thing, though: if we get on cats, and this is the part where if you a fucking Joshua fan or whatever fan, you might want to stop listening, because I don't give a fuck if you hate me or not when I say this. If we get on other fighters, like when Tank Davis pulled that Lomachenko only sold 7,000 seats shit, what the fuck that mean? What the fucking Southern seats got to do with you being his division, being the championship division, motherfucker? That ain't got nothing to do with that. But did we get on Tank Davis? Yes, we did. When Deontay Wilder made that comment about who needs skill when you got power, did we get on Deontay Wilder? Yes, the fuck we did. So when AJ says what he says and he starts talking that business shit, just like every other fighter from Floyd to Oscar to Manny, when they start doing that, we get on them. That's what you guys have to fucking accept. I'm going to say it again. Haters, fanboys, and casuals, you guys are fucking up the sport, because you got a lot of these fighters thinking, oh, well, shit, I got the fans behind me. Fuck it, I can do this right here. And that's exactly what these motherfuckers is doing. They'll take one thing that they think is a risk, which, let's be honest, how big of a risk was that Klitschko fight anyway? He had just came off of a loss. He was 40 years old. Okay, was it a test? Yeah, it was a test. But was it a risk? And if you guys want to constantly tell me how Deontay ain't shit, he only has nothing but punching and power, okay, well, get him out of there then. Get your dude in there and get him fuck out of there. Because I'm serious. Get him out of there. Because, you know what? I made this comparison, and motherfuckers got mad at me. I said, up until Gennady Golovkin fought Daniel Jacobs and Canelo, we questioned Golovkin's resume like motherfuckers questioned Wilder's resume, right? Wilder was denied his Jacobs and Canelo because both the motherfuckers he was supposed to fight pop positive. If he'd had Povetkin on his resume and he'd had Ortiz on his resume, we wouldn't be hearing these motherfuckers pop shit. But it's easy to pop shit to a motherfucker when he's telling you, I want to fight you. You want to tell me, oh, he's begging. Deontay is begging for a fight with Joshua. How the fuck is he begging to fight another guy? I mean, when is sign to fight another champion begging? How the fuck is that begging? Because I thought that's what we was all about, unification. So now he's begging because he wants to get that ass, right? Yeah. But, again, it is, listen, we already know what this is. I'm not surprised. I've seen a lot of cats do it. Am I cool with it? No. Is it alarming? Yes, it's alarming, because what do we always say? Once you become champion, don't talk to me about pumping your brakes. You can't. You weren't worried about pumping your brakes when you went for the IBF, and you only went for the IBF because they stripped Fury of it. Because prior to that, y'all weren't talking that fight. Because remember when Deontay was calling Anthony Joshua before, they was like, well, listen, we taking our time. Okay, you're a champion now, bro. Don't talk to me about pumping your fucking brakes. Same thing I said to Jared Hurd. Same thing to Charlo. Same thing to motherfucking Tank Davis. Don't talk to me about pumping your fucking brakes. You're a champion now. I want to hear that shit. But because of their fans and because of the casuals, he can say that shit and get away with it. And motherfuckers have turned this into Deontay is fucking begging Joshua. Like, how the fuck is he begging Joshua when Joshua's the one that's saying, well, I'm going to sit and take my time. I'm not going to rush my career. Well, then why the fuck are you holding two belts? And that's just a reality that motherfuckers have to deal with. When your fighter says some fucked up shit, we coming for their neck. And you can like it, you can tune out. I don't give a fuck what you do with it. Understand that that's how the sport has always been.
Yeah, it's definitely a funny thing because, or as technically flawed or as much flack as Deontay Wilder receives, all the shit that he's saying about him being the most spirited heavyweight out there, I mean, you honestly got to give some credence to it because of the shit these motherfuckers are doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can't overlook it. Bernard, you got anything you want to add on to this Anthony Joshua situation? I mean, we're looking at the heavyweight division. It's not fucking deep. I mean, this is not a fight that, Derrick James said it. What you going to do, 90,000 to 5? This shit is already going to sell out Wembley. What the fuck?
Right. Well, it's funny. It's funny that you said that, because I just saw an article where Deontay Wilder told if Anthony Joshua wants to be global, he needs to fight him in America.
Yep, I saw that too.
It's like, you know what? Yo, it's full of shit, man. I feel like motherfuckers let's be honest, the fight you can make a lot of money on, really, is Anthony Joshua. Even with what's his name, Joseph Parker, the weakest link of the heavyweight division and champion. He ain't calling out Deontay Wilder. He's calling out who? Anthony Joshua, because he knows, hey, even if I do lose, it's a big payday for me.
Yeah.
You go back to the bid. It's dumb shit. But you know what? Eventually, I don't know, man. Because the sanction bodies, eventually something's got to happen. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this ain't the heavyweight division ain't deep enough to be like we need to let shit marinate. Y'all motherfuckers need to get that shit popping. Y'all need to get that shit popping. Unified.
I agree with you.
100.
It's not. It's not that deep. Wait a minute. It's not that deep. And then the motherfuckers who we look at that you could possibly fight, what the fuck have they done? What? Big Baby Miller beat a Gerald Washington that was knocked out by Deontay Wilder? Dillian White went life or death with a fucking with an old ass Derek Chisora? Like this is the shit you trying to feed me? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Exactly.
Fuck out of here, man. Real talk.
Yep.
If Deontay Wilder was that said what AJ said, motherfuckers be asking for his head right now, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, bro. That shit would be a crucifixion, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's funny because, you know, they keep recycling the same fucking names. Why am I hearing Dillian White is a good matchup for Deontay Wilder after he just got his motherfucking head knocked off with his goddamn arm hanging out the fucking ring against Anthony Joshua? Why would I want to see that? Nigga hand hanging out the ring, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. Damn, man.
He did that funny ass stuff when he got hit.
Yeah. Bro, y'all might be like, damn, you wildin'. Nigga, fuck it. Bring Alexander Povetkin back. Fuck it. Somebody, nigga. Shit. Bring Lucas Brown pad using ass back. I know I made a video saying these niggas should be banned indefinitely, but goddamn, I don't know. They keep recycling the same niggas. Kubrat Pulev, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing Tony the Tiger again. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see these bitch ass dudes. You know what I'm saying? Let's escalate Jermell Miller now. Fuck it. Let him get Deontay Wilder next. Fuck it. Let him get Anthony Joshua next. Let's escalate him. He's the only guy that's in the B level, right? That makes some sense. We can't get the British cat. What's his name? Daniel Dubois. We can't get him. He's too young. He's only like 9-0, if that. You know what I'm saying? So let's escalate Jermell Miller now. Let's bring him up. I mean, the heavyweight division is really almost down there with 160 right now. I know a lot of niggas are saying, oh, man, it's heating up. It's heating up. Well, it's really not because the best not fighting the best. So it's not heating up. We got 3 really good heavyweights, and they all just hanging around. Fuck out of here.
For no apparent reason. No apparent reason. You know what I'm saying? Shit. So we'll go ahead and kick it off to our next topic, man. We talked about, Chocolatito's been mentioned earlier, you know, in some of our other segments, but it's looking like he's switching trainers to Felix Trinidad Sr. Man, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to 2K last. I got an idea what he gonna say, but so let me go ahead and start off with a bow on this one. At this point of his career, a lot of people think Gonzalez was gone as soon as his other trainer passed away, for the most part, recently. And, of course, that led to a lot of his struggles against the ringside in the first fight and in the aftermath getting knocked out. That said, what is going to Felix Trinidad Sr. do for Chocolatito at this stage? Is it an answer to his problems, per se?
No. It's not an answer to his problems. I mean, what the fuck has Felix Trinidad Sr. done prior to that? I mean, since his own son, what has he done prior to that? But not just that, though. The problem with Roman Gonzalez is Roman goddamn Gonzalez. If he ain't there mentally, if he ain't there physically, if he ain't right, you could resurrect the greatest fucking coach of all goddamn time. But if that boy is not right, then a new trainer is not what's going to do it for you at all, period. At this point in his career, now you talking about some new trainer? Well, okay, is Felix Trinidad going to switch the way he fights? Because the way he fights is one goddamn way, and now we know that Rumble showed us you can beat that shit. That shit is beatable. So, no, I don't see nothing this dude going to do. And I'm not trying to disrespect Felix Trinidad Sr., but I'm like, what the fuck has he done in what? Oh, in over a decade. I mean, have we even mentioned this dude's name in over a fucking decade? No. So you going to him is going to do what? It's going to do nothing because you still have a mental problem. You still have a way that you fight that now we know is not only do you have flaws, but now we know it's beatable. Okay, and you're talking about going down, and at the lower weight division, you still got some cats down there at that division we're going down to that's chomping at the bit to get a piece of your ass because they see you vulnerable now. So no, a new trainer ain't gonna do shit, man. So I mean, more power to him, and I'm not trying to sound fucked up about it, but it is what it is. What I saw, world-class fighters, man. When you want to tell me a guy is a number one pound-for-pound fighter, okay, you lose, fine. Don't have a problem with you losing. But when you get stretched at the degree to where your woman is running to the fucking ring, she done left her seat and ran to the ring. You're walking out the ring looking like life has been beaten out of you. We have seen that in too many fights. Meldrick Taylor, Mike Tyson. How many cats have we seen this happen to? Different trainers don't do nothing if the motherfucker ain't right mentally and physically. So I don't know why cats keep doing that, but okay, fine. If he think it'll help him, cool. What's going to happen when shit gets thick and he reverts back to that fight? We see Tony Harrison do it with his ass. We seen Victor Postal do it with his ass. What's going to happen? The same goddamn thing we've been seeing a long time. So, no, a different trainer ain't going to do a goddamn fucking, especially a motherfucker that I ain't heard do shit in 10 years. What the fuck kind of move is this? This ain't like you got Freddie Roach or, you know what I'm saying, or Sanchez, Abel Sanchez. No, you went and got a motherfucker that's basically don't even, and the way you fight, he don't even train that style. So, no, man. This ain't
that was the biggest thing to me thinking about it stylistically. Like, what the fuck would he add? You know, like Tito Trinidad couldn't fucking defend the jab when he was in the higher weight classes. You know what I'm saying? Against Winky Wright and fucking B-Hop. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know what the hell, you know, bringing in Felix Trinidad Sr. would do. I don't know what they've been talking about. But, I mean, I just don't get it, man. I personally think I won't say it's the closing of his career. He's still chasing title fights. You know, he's calling out the Calvary Fights and all that stuff, trying to get something going. He still has a new on the back burner, especially after getting knocked out. That's one of the names he's still doesn't like to mention, but he says it's a possibility still. 2K, I got an idea. I know you mentioned it earlier in the show. I mean, he just needs to go back down to 112 essentially. But training-wise, is there anything that can be done that can make him effective at 115 since he seems like he's intent and stuck on staying there?
If Tito Trinidad Sr. is going to give Roman Gonzalez, who I believe right now is he 30 years old? I can't remember his age. If he's going to give Roman Gonzalez the necessary tools to be more aware, yeah, he's exactly 30 years old, to be more aware defensively, then it's a great fit. Because like I said before on my channel and on this podcast and other outlets, if this guy does not understand why when fighters move up in weight, they become more defensively sound, at least fighters who are successful moving up in weight, right? They become a little more defensively sound is because they understand that they cannot take the type of shots they took at the smaller weights at the higher ones. You're fighting bigger guys now. So this is one thing Roman did not do. He did not add any type of defensive awareness in his style. If Tito Trinidad Sr. is able to successfully do this, and the only way we'll know is if they train, they have a couple fights at 115, and we're able to get a grasp of what Roman Gonzalez has added to his style. And then they go into a big fight. That's the only way we'll know. But see, Roman is talking about trying to fight Khalid Yafai next, right? Fighter out of the UK who will completely dust the shit out of Roman Gonzalez right now. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't think Tito Trinidad Sr. will have enough time based on what Roman Gonzalez has for his future, what goals he has set. I don't think he has enough time to do anything with a 30-year-old Roman Gonzalez. So, and like you alluded to before, the only thing that I believe will keep Roman Gonzalez relevant, since he is at the smaller weight classes, and it was a fucking miracle that he was rated number 1 pound for pound anyway, right? The only way that would keep him relevant is if he keeps winning fights en route to becoming a champion again. And I don't think he can do that at 115, no matter what happens at this point in his career. He's got to go back down to 112 with Tito Trinidad Sr. or not. It doesn't matter.
All right. But Norman, let me get your take on this one, man, since we're talking about the division. HBO ain't done too much of anything with boxing this year, but they did have one of the more successful broadcasts recently with the Superfly event. You know, all of us loved it. They plan on doing a card number 2 next year. The logistics ain't worked out, but we're not quite sure what fighters will be there. It's looking like Estrada versus Swerve Rings fight may be part of that, depending on the timing of it. Because Swerve Rings fight asked for voluntary defense, which I think he's going to try and do earlier in the year. Let me get your takes on the Superfly too, man. In the aftermath of what we're seeing with Chocolatito, is it just exciting as the first one? Will we see the same intriguing matchups, or do we need to bring in like a Calify over to the States to make it more intriguing or just as good as the first one?
You know what? Bringing Zach, how you say his name again? Calify?
Yeah.
Bringing Calify over, let him make his U.S. debut just like Inoue did. Have a Estrada fight, Rungvisai. If not, unless Rungvisai, you said Rungvisai did ask for the
voluntary defense.
So if that voluntary defense happens this year, he possibly could still do the Estrada matchup next year. I would like to see a Inoue versus a contender. I don't know if I would say Quadras would be a good. Don't get me wrong. I think it'd be a good matchup, but I would say Quadras should take Inoue on as a taking a loss, because Inoue is also a champion as well. But you still can have some exciting matches. If anything, you can have a quadruple header. Have Inoue, Calify, Estrada, and Rungvisai on there. Even if they all fighting in 4 different matchups, each fighter having their own matchup respectively, you still could have an exciting card.
You know, is that as close as Estrada versus Quadras was? I wouldn't mind seeing the Nui get a crack at him in the next one. Okay. So I definitely like that one. 2K, you think the second event could be as successful as the first one in the aftermath of, Chocolatito bringing that kind of shine to the division as he was thrusted in the number 1 pound for pound position? Can they make it another exciting event?
The event is between who? I missed that.
I mean, Superfly 2. Can it be just as successful as the first one? In the aftermath of Roman. Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if they switch the matchups up, in this case, if Roman's on there again, of course he shouldn't be the main event, right? So he'll be on one of the undercards, and I think a lot of people will be intrigued at the idea of seeing whether or not Roman still has some shit left in the tank at 115. So I think they will do like Roman versus some whack ass nigga at 115. That's what they should do. Roman doesn't want to do that, but that's what they should do if he's on the card. And then, of course, they'd have like a Inoue Estrada in the main event. Yeah, most definitely they could pull it off.
All right. So we'll go into our next event, man. This is just a rumor right now, so it's nothing official. Miguel Cotto, he said he wanted the toughest available opponent, or the best available opponent for his final fight. That best available opponent is Sadam Ali. From
all I gotta say is, Timothy Medina, come get your boy. He out here tripping.
Yo.
Motherfucker, Reek is taking the L with this one. I don't care, man. Y'all my boys, but y'all motherfuckers are taking the L with this shit, with all that goat. He takes that. This is a fight I'm calling Amanda Serrano the PR GOAT. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm going with it.
I been called her that. I did a video on that.
I am calling Amanda Serrano the Puerto Rican greatest of all time.
Yeah.
This fight comes to fruition. That's just me. I'll go ahead and start off with the Bernard, man. Your initial thoughts, Cotto and Sadam Ali rumors, and who do you think his final fight should be against if this is just something being put out there?
I think I said this in the room in Eastwick. I would have preferred Cotto fight Margarito with the illegal hand wraps on before he fought somebody like Sadam Ali. Yeah. I would rather see a trilogy of that before that. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna end out with a bang, I know people don't want to see Margarito fight. Like, yo, no. If you're gonna do it, don't even go out like that. But you fighting Sadam Ali hasn't even fought at 154 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
That's who he's been trying to pull up for like the last 2 fucking years, though, where niggas that have never fought at 154. That's what he's been trying to do. That's not a surprise.
So it's like, David Lemieux. But let's be honest, okay? Who has Cotto really fought other than Canelo through this whole time? Since he won the belt against from Sergio Martinez, he fought Devin Rodriguez and Daniel Gill. He stepped up in competition against who? Canelo. Lost to Canelo. Then after that, it was like, hey, let me try to get James Kirkland. That fight fell through. Then he fought Kamagai. I was hoping Kamagai knock his ass out, but hell, that motherfucker was on his back foot that whole night because Kamagai kept coming. But he won that bout, respectively. Now, instead of saying, hey, I want to go out with a bang, you going out with a poof against Sadam Ali.
Poof.
A poof. A poof.
All right, Bo, let me pass it on to you, man. What title did he win against Kamagai? I forgot which one.
The WBO.
The 154 one, the one that the British cats are supposed to be fighting for, the Liams, the interim shit. Okay, but he won the actual belt. That said, 154 is a hot fucking division.
Man.
There were some names out there that you'd like to see in place of that, Bo. You know, he said the biggest, the most toughest and available opponent at 154. He's a title holder. It shouldn't be hard getting somebody in there. Bo, who would you like to see him against, possibly as a a swan song?
Man, look, I don't want to see him against nobody but them fucking retirement papers. That's what I want to see him fight. I want to see him fight them motherfucking retirement papers. Turn your shit. If Sadam Ali is who you telling me you fighting, motherfucker, turn your shit in right now. Golden Boy is pulling the wool over our motherfucking eyes. You pulling another kind of, like, you're doing for Cotto what you was doing for Canelo, and get mad at me if you won't. He was the king of bringing motherfuckers up for the fight, okay? You doing the shit that with Cotto that you were doing for Canelo. So I don't want to see him fight nobody 154 because the reality is whoever I name, he ain't fighting him any fucking way. Why? Because he's pulling the nigga up for 147. Okay? So we can sit here and we can run down the who's who list. Guess what? They didn't look at that list. They didn't look at that list. They looked at their list of fighters they got that they said, hey, we could make this fight.
So Sadam is with Golden Boy, isn't he? He is
right.
with
And let's not forget. Once upon a time, he was supposed to fight Gamboa. He was bringing him for 135. Remember that shit?
Yep.
Okay, so let's not forget. He tried to pull that bullshit. All right? So, fuck out. Listen,
hey, it's funny. Mikey said he would jump up from fucking 135, 140 to fight him.
Right.
He ain't heard nothing else come back.
I'm trying to figure out what happened with that bullshit. That's what I'm saying.
Ain't heard nothing back from him.
Yep. Ain't heard nothing back from him. Why? Because the reality is Miguel Cotto, look, when people talk to me about Like, this just blows everything out the water for me. You can no longer mention Floyd versus Berto. At least Berto was a former 147-pound two-time champion. What the fuck has Sadam Ali done? Jack shit. So, and you bringing him up a whole weight division? So, y'all, this is why I love boxing, because boxing, again, haters, fanboys, and casuals, boxing is the reason why you motherfuckers take L's. Stop believing in promoters, stop backing one fighter, and support the sport, because this shit is bullshit, and fuck Miguel Cotto. Tim, get your boy. He out there fucking tripping.
Yeah, I mean, at least Floyd didn't put try to put glitter over shit. You know what I'm saying? When he went out with his swan song, they tried to mask this saying the toughest available opponent, and then you hear this in-house bullshit with a guy that ain't never fought at 154 in his life. So, I mean, it is what it is. Politics as usual for Golden Boy Promotions. We'll go ahead and go into our next topic, which is... Wait a minute. To show you how comical this shit is, the highest quality fighter Sadam Ali fought was Jesse Vargas. And he got knocked the fuck out.
I mean, the thing is, if you even look at the WBO rankings at welterweight, Sadam Ali is not even ranked. So what are we talking about here? Are we fucking? I mean, are we? A lot of people tried to say, as a way to make his intentions look better, Miguel Cotto's that is. Well, he's only bringing up Juan Manuel Marquez, because he wants a big money fight. Well, he was only entertaining Tim Bradley because he wants a big money fight. Well, he was only entertaining Lamont Peterson because he's looking for a big money fight. Well, I don't know why he was entertaining Yuri Ortiz Gamboa. I don't believe that. What? You got proof? Well, I don't know. That's not going to happen. And then now it's, Sadam Ali. So that theory's out the window. You know what I'm saying? Sadam Ali ain't bringing no fucking big money. So what is the point? And if you look at the WBO rankings at 154, there really ain't nobody there from the fight. I mean, they got fucking Diego Chavez ranked number 8, for God's sakes. Antonio Margarito ranked number 9. You know what I'm saying? There's really nobody from the fight based on those rankings. But if Miguel Cotto, who pound for pound, or Ring Magazine has him ranked number 3 at 154, if you're that high by Ring Magazine, your respective, right, in your respective division, then you should be looking at Michael Soro, who's number 10, Brian Castano, who's number 9, right? Motherfucking Demetrius Andre was available before he got taken off the docket. I mean, come on, man. Like, this, it's clear to me Miguel Cotto was not looking for money. He was looking for easy targets on his way out the sport. And we just got a reason why right now. Fuck out. I hope Sadam Ali...
He could have fought one of the Week 10 Jackson brothers, man. Seriously. He could have fought one of them niggas, man.
Could have fought Willie Nelson. I'd have took the Juan Manuel... I was highly against the Juan Manuel Marquez matchup. I fucking hated that matchup because he was telling Marquez he had to come to 154. Marquez ain't even look good at 147. Only fight he won that looked good at 147 was against Pat. So he ain't never even looked good there. And you trying to tell the nigga to go to 154? But I'll take that fight over Sadam Ali any day. Get the fuck out of here, man.
All right, so we'll go into our previews of this weekend's cards, man. We got a lot of boxing action. Of course, Fox is airing one of the PBC cards with Leo Santa Cruz. He'll be fighting on it, as well as Abner Mares. Not going to preview those fights unless you guys want to get into them. I was going to do the main card, which is the Showtime one. I think we're going to go reverse order with this one because they got it all fucked up with the order. So we're going to do the main event first, which should be the last. Got the first fight up, actually. Erislandy Lara defending his 154-pound title, WBA title against Terrell Gausha. I gotta do it, man. I gotta do it. Cubano Loco. Que paso, Cubano Loco.
I'll take this one. I got phone problems. I'll take this one. I was going to say, don't Lara call himself the American Dream?
Both of them, don't they?
Who?
I thought Gausha did too. I thought Gausha did, but
Lara's the American cherry picker right now because he said he can't his fight. So as of right now, yes. Unfortunately, last year or early this year, I picked up. I said U.O.E.N.O was going to be because the cherry picker doesn't know he's a cherry pick. Well, this is my fuckery pick of boxing. I hope Terrell Gausha ends this bullshit next weekend. It's just a hope, but I'm going to pick him anyway. I'm
you just called him American. You just called Erislandy Lara American Pie.
He ain't deserving a pie right now. He just get the cherries. That's all he's doing. He's picking the cherries. So.
All right. I guess we'll go ahead and TK, you even want to do a goddamn breakdown of this fight?
I think he got off.
Okay.
I think it would be convenient for him anyway because I'm pretty sure he don't want to break down that bullshit.
Yeah. All right, but now I got to swing it over to Cubano Loco. You ain't really got to defend the fight, just predict it. You know what I'm saying? More than anything, that's what we do here on these previews. I guess I might try and do my best 2K impression. So go ahead, Bo. Let me get your prediction.
So Charlo versus Lubin. I like this fight.
Nah, man, we ain't talking.
It's a very good fight.
Hold on, let me get my motherfucking mute button there. Where's my mute button? I don't know what you're doing.
You got two young undefeated lions.
There we go. We gonna mute his ass. Oh, y'all be fucking with my order. How you gonna make me do that to you live, man? We live on the air. You got me over here muting you. But I'll go ahead and go into the Erislandy and Gausha fight, man. I mean, Erislandy Lara's up there in age, man. I believe he's 34. A lot of people think he's slowing down. And he said he's wanted to change things stylistically to actually get guys out of there. So he's sitting down on his punches, I guess, as we saw in the U.O.E.N.O fight. He's willing to exchange more, as we saw in his fight against Vanis Martirosyan. He was actually in there banging with him, which is something we're not common seeing from him. I don't necessarily think that bodes well against Terrell Gausha, but Gausha's not a power puncher, so I think that was the real reason why they have Gausha in there, honestly. Lara has been on his ass a few times in his career, against guys that were pressure fighters like Angulo. So, I mean, Gausha doesn't necessarily bring that kind of power to the game. So, I mean, I'm thinking they just want to they're testing out things stylistically right here for Lara before he possibly goes against one of the other champions. I'm not quite sure. I don't think he's necessarily slowing down. He hasn't taken a lot of punishment in his career, so I don't think he could slow down with the style that he was in. But he is up there in age. I'm predicting a unanimous decision in this one for Erislandy Lara. But I think Gausha is definitely going to have his moments in there. He's in there. He's got a trainer in Manuel Robles that we like here. He was my trainer of the year last year, my paper trainer of the year. Has a decent stable with David Benavidez, Oscar Valdez, and a couple other fighters. But, he's definitely not of that crop yet, although he does have the amateur pedigree. He definitely doesn't have the tools, I don't think, or the intelligence to be the Erislandy Lara. That's what I believe more than anything. The intelligence, it just isn't there to beat him, So I see him getting flustered at times in there as well. Unanimous decision, Erislandy Lara. I wonder what kind of aggression. That's my only thing is wonder what kind of aggression we're going to see with this newfound style of Lara right now. But we'll go ahead and go to the next fight, which I think should probably be the main event. We'll do that one last. Let's go into the Austin Trout and Jarrett Hurd fight, because that's actually one of the second best fight on the card. Bo, for that one, do your thing, man.
Yes, Austin Trout and Jarrett Hurd, that's a very intriguing fight. I told me and Twan talked about it. My only concern with Austin Trout is the time he's been out of the ring. He's been out of the ring 18 months, and that could probably show. But if Austin Trout can keep it a boxing match, because that's the one thing we learned from Jarrett Hurd fight with Tony Harrison, is you could outbox Jarrett Hurd. Okay, so if Austin Trout can keep it a boxing match, keep it in the middle of the ring, keep Jarrett Hurd, who's a young champion, keep him guessing, keep him, searching and waiting, and showing a little bit of his immaturity and impatience, Austin Trout has a very good chance. In my opinion, he has a very high chance of winning. So it's a young champion versus what we say an old lion, and every now and then there's an old saying, an old lion, when he knows it's his time to go, will give you one last great fight, and Trout may have one left in him. And I like his chances in this fight because there's nothing about Jarrett Hurd that I saw that made me think that Trout, that he'll give Trout such a hard time. Trout is mentally tough, so he ain't going to fall like Tony Harrison. He has a very good chin because he's been punched by some hard punches and stayed on his feet. So I like it, but, that's my only concern is how long he's been out that ring, man. My only concern is him being out that ring. Henceforth, why I'm picking Hurd. I'm reluctant to pick Hurd, the young champion, but I'm picking him just off of that. But I could easily see Austin Trout winning this fight. So it's a good fight. Hurd's going to have to show us something that we haven't seen from him in a long time. He's going to have to show us that he got a jab. He's going to have to show us that he can put punches together. He's going to have to show us that, that he can give you angles and movement. He's going to have to show us something because he going there with Austin Trout like he against Tony Harrison. It's game over.
All right, Bernard, let me get your prediction of this one, Jarrett Hurd versus Austin Trout.
I got Trout winning this fight by unanimous decision, man. Just the way Hurd is flat-footed. He likes to sit on his punches. The way if he comes in this bout like how he fought Tony Harrison, kind of waiting to get that one punch in, you're dealing with a vet. And I see Austin Trout coming out because he's not going to do what Tony Harrison did, let alone quit. So I feel that Hurd is going to do that little, not a shoulder roll, but he's going to keep his left hand down, right hand covering up his right side of his face, and think he could try to walk down Trout, but it's not going to do what he did in his Harrison. It's not going to work. Because all he's going to do is Trout's going to end up pretty much being him a slick southpaw. He's going to outbox Hurd and get a unanimous decision. The only way I can see Hurd winning is if the judges give it to him, off the fact that, I don't know, because he's champion, if Trout doesn't convincingly beat him. And let's say this, too. Wasn't Trout's last fight? No, it wasn't. Wasn't Trout's last? It
was Charlo.
It was against Charlo, right? Remember,
yeah.
Trout may be trying to go for the knockout on this one. I know that seemed kind of crazy, but he felt that in his heart that he beat Jermell Charlo.
Oh, yeah, so, it was a very close fight. Very close.
Right, so look for him to try to even end the fight. I say unanimous decision, but look for him to try to knock out Hurd. I've never seen Hurd, get knocked out or not let him knocked down, but I can see Trout trying to go for that knockout to make a statement.
All right, pretty intriguing matchup. I mean, you got the young gun and Jarrett Hurd, 27. He's a big 154. 6'1", with a crazy reach. But the thing is, he doesn't fight like that. You know what I'm saying? He fights like he likes to bang. He's more of a banger, not. And the thing in the fight against Tony Harrison was the biggest factor was Tony Harrison's movement caused him to fatigue. He couldn't go to full 12. It was stamina issues that ended up ultimately fucking him in that fight because he was easily outboxing Hurd and had him chasing him, had him cutting off the ring in that fight. Just following him more than cutting off the ring, and was able to get to him finally when all the movement caught up to Tony Harrison in that fight. With Austin Trout, you're dealing with a guy that's been to the dance plenty of times against the biggest foes at 154. It's Erislandy, Canelo. You know, he's been in there against some Miguel Cotto and won. You know, he's been in there against some top guys and intelligent fighters at that. I don't think Jarrett Hurd brings that kind of intelligence to the game to where he's going to be able to outsmart Austin Trout in there. He's going to have to. The only way I see him beating Austin Trout necessarily is if he goes and bulldozes him. Like he's going to have to be a high pressure fighter in this fight, and I didn't see him have that skill set in this fight against Harrison to cut off the ring properly against a guy like Trout that knows how to set traps and use angles, do time his punches to keep you from coming in and deter you from coming in. So I mean, I got Austin Trout picking up the title in this one, man. Yeah, I definitely think I'll go UD. You know, I only see one way that Jarrett Hurd can win this fight, and he's gonna have to. And it's not something I've seen in his skill set recently, in his most recent fights. So I'm going with Austin Trout by UD, which will lead us to what should be the main event of this card, but got put in as the co-main event. We got Jermell Charlo defending his WBC title against the young gun, 2016 ESPN Prospect of the Year, Erickson Lubin. Bo said it best, man. There's only way to test yourself. You can't keep holding off. A lot of people think it's too soon for Erickson Lubin to be going in there against a guy like Charlo, who has a lot more experience. He's been on a high knockout streak as well. But, you know, there's only one way to find out, like Bo says. With that said, I'll go ahead and start off with him and let him give his prediction and breakdown.
Well, the main event, and it is a main event, let me tell you, between Charlo and Erickson Lubin. See, this fight is it's the tale of two fighters. You have one fighter who is showing us that he has, since being with Derrick James, he has shown you he has increased in his technical ability. He has increased in his just overall. You see him doing things in this ring that shows you that maybe even his ring IQ has increased. So you have a technically sound, a fighter who is showing you some technically sound things. He has a great jab versus a fighter that's just extremely athletic, and he fights very well with athleticism. So it's the tale of two fighters, in my opinion. You have the technical fighter versus the athletic fighter. Now, I'm picking Charlo because I've said this before. Anytime you give me a technical fighter against an athletic fighter, I'll always pick the technical fighter, because the thing with the athletic fighter is once his athleticism is offset, he doesn't have anything else he can fall back on, or not enough to fall back on, let me say that. Charlo is athletic himself, so he may not be as athletic as Lubin, but he's athletic enough to cause Lubin, to give Lubin cause to pause. Charlo has been in this situation, and Charlo has he has more experience in this aspect. And his jab, if he can get it going, because Lubin is a lefty, if he can get that jab going against Lubin, that can cause some serious problems. So I like Charlo in this fight only because he has the experience, he's a more technically sound fighter, and he's starting to show more of his ring IQ, right? Now, I don't think it's too soon for Lubin to fight, because you never know when it's time for a guy to go for a title. You had Floyd Mayweather with only 16 fights to win the title. Anthony Joshua with 18 fights to win the title. So when people say, well, it's too soon, I say, well, it's never going to be enough for people with certain fighters, especially if you like them. It's never going to be soon enough.
Let me ask you this, Bo. The same kind of eye test we gave Floyd Mayweather against Genaro Hernandez at 17-0. The same kind of eye test we said Errol Spence passed going into a fight against Kell Brook. Have you seen that from Erickson Lubin in his career? No. Okay.
I haven't seen that yet. No, I haven't, because here's the thing. Like you're right. Like the same kind of eye test that I've seen isn't enough, but it might be enough because it's a guy like Jermell Charlo, and that's the thing. And because of Charlo, because it's Charlo, and the knock on the one Charlo brother is he's just not as mean as his brother. But that might develop because he seems to be pretty geared up for this fight. So at the end of the day, if Charlo keeps this a boxing match and he uses his technical ability, giving Erickson Lubin angles, keep moving, don't stand still because Erickson Lubin likes when you're standing still. Don't get up against the ropes. Every time you feel your back foot at that rope, slide left or slide right. Give Erickson Lubin feints. You're the champion. Make this dude respect you because those are the things that athletic fighters hate. They hate guys that's moving, giving them feints and all that stuff because they're thinking to get out of the way to counter you. But just keep a jab in his face, keep moving. Even if you're not hitting him, keep pumping that jab. Make him, make him have second thoughts about coming in. And for Erickson Lubin to win, well, he's gonna have to raise his game up to a whole new level. He's gonna have to, touch Charlo as much as he can wherever he can. Okay, he's gonna have to get Charlo going backwards and get him on the ropes, make him cover up. He's gonna have to put them down in Charlo mind. Say what you want to say about either one of them Charlo brothers. They're mentally tough. Like, they could be losing a fight and still maintain, that mental toughness to know that, hey, I just got to keep grinding it out. But at the end of the day, this in my opinion, this is a very good fight between two young guns, and this is really what you want to see in boxing.
All right. Let me go ahead and pass it on to Bernard, man. You got what's your prediction on this one?
I got Jermell Charlo winning by UD.
Okay.
I don't see. I think that this could be. People feel that Jermell Charlo has been the one that's been. What's the word to say? They've been babysitting with him. Not babysitting him, but protecting him. He's got a lot of easy picks, easy fights, or whatever, and they feel like he's the fighter. He's the brother that hasn't been really tested. So now here comes Lubin, who's a young up-and-coming prospect who's now moved into contender status. And he had a chance to disrupt that. I'm going to piggyback on what Bo said. Since they don't feel like he's angry enough, but this could be some motivation for Jermell. Jermell feels some type of way, And he's like, yo, you know what? I gotta. He may do what he did. Jermell did, knock out J-Rock. You saw how that happened. He may pull it off. J-Rock was an up-and-coming 154-pounder. All of a sudden, he was saying, hey, he was going to be this guy to beat Jamal. And what happened next? He got knocked out in the 5th round. I'm not saying Jermell can knock out Lubin, but we know Jermell has been sending down his punches, and he does feel some type of way. He's walking in there with a chip on his shoulder, and I'm pretty sure he's going to prove next week that why he's the WBC champion against Lubin.
Man, let me go into my little rant, my little diatribe about this. I'm gonna keep it simple, man. Lions only.
Yes, sir.
We just had his trainer on today. They train for battles, 19 round sparring sessions, 30-second breaks in between rounds. Iron sharpens iron. He's in there sparring against Errol Spence, who's one of my favorite fighters right now, up there for me. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think he has a more complete skill set out of the two Charlo brothers, even though he doesn't get the same kind of attention or credit, that Jamal has attained already, even though because, he's only just recently won this belt and only had one defense. But, I think it comes down to this, who can handle whose power better. Erickson Lubin is a nickname to Hammer for a reason. He's knocking plenty of motherfuckers out in there. Charlo, not so much so because he had a different style before heading over to Derrick James. Now he's sitting on his punches, and we've seen him get 2 consecutive knockouts in a row, albeit against guys that may be chinny, in John Jackson and Charles Hadley, who was knocked out by Leonardo Tyler before, fighting Charlo. So I haven't seen Erislandy Lubin tagged yet. I'm not quite sure what kind of chin he has, but I expect to see him. Expect him to get rocked in this fight. As far as he's gonna, in this toughest fight, of course, he's gonna take some blows. It also comes down to who's going to be the aggressor, man. How aggressive will Lubin be coming into this stage against a guy with much more experience? His first time on the title fight. He has a highly astonished amateur background, but this is the pros, and the nerves can hit you at any minute, man. So I mean, there's a lot of things in this fight that X factors in this fight that carry over, and I think it's too many for him to pull out the victory. Although I think TK was actually one of the guys that thinks Lubinson will win this fight initially when we first started talking about it. But I think the experience factor overall, just the new environment with Derrick James and who he's in there with, a diverse skill set. He knows when to turn it on and turn it off. Like Bo was saying, they have a mental toughness about them that, even if they're losing the fight, they have an inner resolve to turn it up when they know they need to. So I'm probably gonna go with I think I'm gonna go with Charlo in this fight. I'm gonna say UD, possible late stoppage. I think he may overwhelm the young gun late in the fight. No knock on Erislandy Lubin, because I still think he's gonna be a world champion at 154. Too much talent not to. So I mean, but just this time around, I don't think he'll get it in this first go. That said, I guess we'll try and start wrapping things up a little bit. There's no Fuckery Award of the Week this week per Bernard, so we'll go ahead and go into U.O.E.N.O. On this day, in 2005, we had Jose Luis Castillo knocking out Diego Corrales in the rematch of their fight. Of course, he won, knocked him out because he came in 100 pounds overweight, and it ended up being a non-title fight. But rest in peace, Diego Corrales. Shout out to Jose Luis Castillo. They gave us two epic fights, or what I want to say 3, right? Well, the third one actually was called off because of the weight thing again. But they gave us a epic battle, one of the greatest fights in history. That said, man, Bo, you take final blow this week?
Yeah, man, I could take final blow.
All right.
Haters, fanboys, and casuals. Why they are
been the theme of this show.
Say what now?
There's been a theme on this show, man.
Yeah, haters, fanboys, and casuals. Why they are ruining the sport of boxing. Whether you agree or disagree with what I'm about to say, here's the problem. When you prop up a fighter to the point where they start believing their own bullshit, then you'll get them saying stuff like we heard Anthony Joshua say. When you prop up a promoter to where you start believing his bullshit, then they'll start making moves and making fights and have their fighters doing things like we've seen Canelo do with Oscar, like we've seen Bob Arum do with his fighters, like what appears to be going on with Eddie Hearn. Okay? When you put down another organization simply because you don't like it, PPP, and you put it down and you talk about it, right? And what happens is all those fighters on that network don't get the recognition they deserve simply because they ain't paying a line in somebody's fucking pockets, or they ain't got their health insurance, or whatever the fucking reason is. You're hurting that fighter. You ain't hurting the organization. You're hurting that fighter, which is their way to make money. And when you try to appeal to a core of fans and you try to sell them nothing more than the knockout, they don't appreciate guys like Floyd, guys like Ward, guys like Crawford, guys like Rigo. They don't appreciate it because you're appealing to them instead of making them understand what the fuck it is they're looking at. So what's going on in boxing now is everybody wants to be the person to get 1,000 likes. Everybody wants to be the person to get 1,000 tweets. Everybody wants to be the person to get something out there first. But nobody wants to be the person that teaches. Nobody wants to be the person that shows. Nobody wants to be the person that actually stands their ground, like my man from Barbershop Conversation, and asks that question, what's up with the racist emails? And when he got escorted out, none of you motherfuckers stood up and said, hey, that's not right. We're going to walk out with him. Why? Because you're trying to appeal to a group of people that don't really have the back of this sport, and they do not. When you want to scream to me about how much you don't like Ward and how much you like Kovalev and you want them to beat them, then why didn't the numbers prove that? When you want to scream to me why your fighter don't have to go up in weight, then don't tell me about another fighter that needs to do that. When you want to scream to me how a fighter is begging to fight another fucking champion, but your champion is saying, I'm going to wait to fight this dude that you telling me ain't shit anyway, don't get mad when the criticism comes. And this is what boxing has become. Boxing has become about dividing us from what the sport really is about. It's not about the fans, okay? No, I'll take it back. It is about the fans, but it's not about the fights that these writers want to see. It's not about the fights that these, bookies and backdoor people want to see. It's about the fights that make the most sense of best fighting the fucking best. And if you've been following the sport since the 70s and since the 80s, that's what we've always gotten. Have some of these guys not made fights? Yeah, I'll be the first one to tell you guys. The Big Four did not fight guys like Mike McCullum, but at least they fought each other and still gave us good fights. And then Mike McCullum, when his chance came, he had good fights when he fought Colombe. That's not happening today. Today it's about hot potato. Today it's about making us wait to line your fucking pockets, okay? Today it's about, who's the man this month and who's the flavor of the month next fucking month. That's what it's about. It's not about purity. It's not about making sure that the integrity is held in place. Henceforth, why you can tell me a guy with less than 10 fights with questionable opponents, you think he's number one pound for pound. Why a guy that only fought one world fucking champion in David Lemieux, who is not all that good, you telling me he's number one pound for pound. This is why you get a guy like Roman Gonzalez who becomes number one and gets obliterated by a B-level dude in his second fight. See, these are the things that's happening in boxing, and the reason why you see these upsets, even with Gavril and his tough fight with David Benavidez. Okay, we've been seeing this all this year. Jeff Horn and Manny Pacquiao, him staying in there and giving Pacquiao all he can handle. Why? Because you guys are not doing this sport any fucking justice, because you got the haters that everybody want to, you want to get some money from them haters, you want to get some money from them fanboys, and then you want to filter casuals. That shit right there is what's hurting the fucking sport. That's the reason why a guy like Anthony Joshua, after having 2 belts, can say, pump my brakes. It's the reason why Floyd Mayweather can say Tank Davis, and Tank Davis ain't going to fight Lomachenko, and ain't nobody outraged. It's the reason why Canelo Alvarez can drop a fucking belt, okay, and not fight Gennady Golovkin and make us wait 2 years. It's because of shit like that. We have made these fighters believe they shit don't stink. And when you got guys like Crawford and Spence who will fight any motherfucking body, you want to tell me how they're not good, how they need to do more. You want to shit on them. See? And that's the reason why this is why I say this year, you motherfuckers are taking L's, because you're being proven that this formula y'all trying to fish feed is fucking y'all up this year in boxing. So haters, fanboys, and casuals, don't let them fuck up our goddamn sport. Because the only reason why we've gotten this far is by staying true to the sport, being purist, and being honest about what the fuck is going on in front of us. So if you want boxing to keep going, quit hating on Golden Boy. I don't like Oscar De La Hoya, but I had to defend his resume because a motherfucker wanted to tell me his only biggest achievement was beating Fernando Vargas. I had to defend him. Okay? I have to defend Deontay Wilder because you want to tell me he fought one top 10 opponent. No, he fought Gerald Washington, Duke Hopkins, and Spilker. They was all ranked in the top 10. Okay? I have to defend these dudes. Why? Because we're studying trying to appeal to cats that want to tear up the integrity simply because they want to see one motherfucker come in, launch a bunch of punches and get knocked out. Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, outside of what people believe, was a close fight. Why? Because Canelo went in there and boxed, and he took away Golovkin's best punch. That is what elite-level fighters do. Okay? When you go into training camp and you work on something, when you get in that ring, that's what you do. You do what you worked on in camp. You don't abandon it if it's working for you, and it was working for him. But you don't understand it because it's not being taught to you no more. It's being sold to you instead of taught to you. And when you sell a motherfucker something, instead of teaching them something, they don't understand the fucking value. And that's what boxing has done. Haters, fanboys, and casuals are fucking it up, and we need to stop.
All right, good points brought up by both. I mean, definitely hold everybody accountable on this, man. That's it. You got to hold these fighters accountable. We got to put it back in the hands of the fighters, basically, man. Yeah, when they fuck up, you got to let them know. A lot of things happen because of people voicing their concerns. You know what I'm saying? And when you put the right kind of vibe out there, the real things in boxing that are supposed to happen, they'll take place. Instead of the bullshit that we got going on, and we be worried about the politics as pound for pound, say, Mike, So I mean, we've been able to sell that shit. They've been able to sell that shit as opposed to the actual combat itself, which needs to be at the forefront again. With that said, man, I'm gonna let everybody give their social media, where they can be contacted at. Starting off with Bernard, where can I catch you, man?
Man, you can find me on Facebook in the groups of Eastwick, the Movement Facebook group. We Live Eastwick Boxing, the Commissioner's Corner, Fisticuffs Boxing, SSS Boxing Talk. As such, Supreme Boxing. And you can find me on Twitter at The Movement Boxer. Well, you can find me and Twine. We control the Twitter as well as the Instagram, which is the Instagram is DAMUVMENTBP on Instagram. You can also find me on Truth and Facts About Boxing. Well, yeah, you can find me on there when Bo decides to give me a 48-hour notice, not these last-minute notice, or you can find me in the comment section spamming Bo just when he puts up his spam every hour on the hour, even while he's on vacation.
Next. Passing it on to Bo. Pass out your social media handles and where they can catch you.
You can catch me on Truth and Facts About Boxing because even when on vacation, I love the sport enough to where I'll talk about it. That's called true love for sport, not casual love for sport. But you can catch me on Truth and Facts About Boxing. You can also catch my man Bernard when he ain't out there looking for fighters or chasing women or eating Kit Kats, whatever the fuck he be doing instead of trying to be on the show. You can also find me on The Movement. That's DAMUVMENT. Pound for Pound. Ring IQ, Hands of Fire, anywhere where they talking boxing. Eastwick with our guy Willie the Kid, talking boxing and bullshit. And you can also probably be finding me this week roasting Mr. Timothy Miguel Cotto supporter Medina because his boy is out here motherfucking tripping with this bullshit. So, and shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to Malachi and everybody out there that supports the channel. Penders and Chris, fuck Chris Henderson. So again, that's how, you know what I'm saying. That's how it is. We love the sport of boxing. That's why even when we on vacation, we do this. And there's a special segment that you guys can catch on Truth and Facts. When I come home from my South American visit, me and Bernard will shoot a special segment at the airport. And if Bernard get arrested, fuck him. He gonna stay in that bitch. I ain't bailing him out.
Who said I was picking you up from the airport, nigga? Who said I was picking you up? Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell the people, man, we got a YouTube channel, so go check it out for the rebroadcast of this podcast as well as the roundtable that we try to have at least once in the midweek in the middle of the week with the midweek news of boxing. the YouTube channel, the Müvment Boxing Podcast. Remember to write that down, but we got a YouTube channel. We got to make sure we keep our elderly, in the know.
Shout out to our boy 2K. He had to run to the store get some eggs before they closed, and his wife had their honeydew list because he got to finish that motherfucker before tomorrow.
Oh yeah, you can find 2K on the Prodigy of Boxing Talk on YouTube, as well as the Boxing God on Twitter. You can find Big Cool at Columbus Boxing Talk.
No, you didn't just get a nigga Twitter. You know you're gonna be mad.
Yeah, I know. Fuck that. I know he says fuck Twitter, but he's gonna take it today. Big Cool. You can find him on Facebook at Colossal Boxing Talk, as well as on YouTube. You can find him also in the same Facebook groups that we're in. You also can find Big Smoke at your local soul food restaurant. Get it in. If not, you can find him in the grocery store getting all the bologna so he can fry when he gets to the crib. You know what I'm saying? The fried bologna sandwiches.
This nigga is tripping.
When you don't come on the show, you get your ass roasted here.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Actually, you can also find Big Cool. There's a Star Wars convention, and they got the new Star Wars game coming out. They bringing back Jabba the Hutt, so you can find Big Cool. You can find Big Cool on.
I thought he was production. He make the noise. Yeah.
Oh, and you can also find special guest on Prodigy of Boxing will be Tavon Hazel.
And I'm Twine the Divine Liberty, the Müvment Boxing Podcast, man. You should catch me here. And my fellow shows, Bo, The Truth and Facts About Boxing. I'm usually on this show about once or twice a week now. Catch me in all the chat groups that these guys talked about on Facebook. I want to add a couple more championship rounds. Die Hard Boxing, TLR, shout out to all them, man. Definitely for holding me down for Jump Street. Ring IQ, give them a shout out as well. IBN. You've been going on the rampage, man.
Yeah, I've been loving it too, boy. I love it.
He been going off, man. So shout out to them. And with that said, you can catch us every Sunday, and then like Bernard was saying, we do our midweek thing sometimes, night at the round table. So I mean, just stay in tune. And man, I should
shout
have
out to Derrick James
coming shortly. Oh yeah, shout out to him for coming on the show, and good luck to them out there in New York this weekend. Should have some news coming up shortly about who I'll be writing for in the future. So, I mean, I'll be announcing that on one of our upcoming shows. Until next week, man, y'all be safe, and thanks for tuning in.